No. It's all gone wrong.
What's happened?
Oh, we've got a PowerPoint. There we go. Boom. We had something there then. Right. So let's try that. Boom. Boom. There we go.
Yeah, it looks like we're live.
We are live. There's things every single episode. Something has to go wrong. I'm just making sure everyone's in the right seats. We have sound. We are good. So here we go again. Yeah. Hello. Welcome to Band of Badgers. I'm Dave, your game master and host for this campaign. This is our Scarlet Citadel series, supported by our friends over at Kobold Press. I will hold up. So please go ahead and check them out at koboldpress.com. Now, joining me around the gaming table are my beautiful players. How are you all doing, players?
Doing good. Doing wonderful.
Yeah. Okay. That all sounds positive. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Now,
for now, you threaten us with TPK on WhatsApp. I mean, that's what I will subject.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's what I do anyway. You should be used to it.
I am used to it. I'm just like numb to it.
I generally threaten you with TPK probably every day, but for this lot, they're still new, Steve. I've got to warm them up. Josh is used to it a few times, but
yeah.
Okay. Now, each week we are joined by a new special guest player. I say each week, each session, from around the TT RPG community. And it could be you, just like, I don't know if it's in the lottery in your country, here in the UK, it could be you. All you have to do is get in touch and you can come on and play. This week, we're joined by the exceptional Mark Roberts. How are you doing, Mark?
Hello, good to be here.
Good. That was the right answer. So, Mark is a fantastic comic artist and we'll be chatting to him properly, probably around halftime, just after the halftime break. But just for your own information, we'll put like details into the live chat. But just so you know, he does character art commissions. So for your D&D games, your Pathfinder games, your Kobold Press games, you can do it all. So do make sure you get in touch and check. I was going to say check him out. That sounds wrong. Check out his Instagram. So just check out his artwork. We'll be showing the artwork anyway. But so now this is episode 2. We won't go around the table getting everyone to introduce themselves because you can just go and watch episode 1. It's on YouTube. Go check it out. It's youtube.com/bandofbadgers. But before we go straight into the game, I'm going to ask my players, what was your best bit from the last session? And they're all eager to reply there. You see how that works.
Our personal favourite moment, or our favourite moment as a team? Because favourite moment as a team has to be the bacon throw, doesn't it?
Has to be bacon. I was on pins and needles, like waiting to see what the aftermath of that was going to be. I was like,
and if you want to know more about bacon, go see episode 1. And then you understand what we're talking about.
I thought I was dead because like I'm on the opposite side of everyone else, and I'm the like tiny squishy mage going, "Oh crap, that's an owlbear." It's like bacon. And my favorite moment, like that was really cool, but my favorite moment, just like as for my character, was grabbing the harpy's leg and like rolling around and casting magic missile and just imagining it boof, 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 blowing it up from underneath. That was cool.
I have to.
That was good.
I have to just to point out that the whole bacon fiasco was it was literally, we started the adventure in a tavern, as you do. They were having breakfast. Galen decided to get a doggy bag of a bunch of bacon, and then gets cornered by an owlbear. And as the owlbear is slowly kind of hunting him down like a supreme predator that he is, Galen decides, what are you going to do? I'm going to throw my bag of bacon. Save the bacon or sacrifice the bacon. But it worked.
It worked, yes.
Because that stuff happens in these games. And that's the best that's the best bit. Okay, cool. So can you remember where we left last session?
we had just found that room with the zombies hanging from the ceiling.
You have indeed, yes.
And we actually didn't were we actually aware of the fact that there was zombies? Because I think our lovely DM let that slip in the precursor to the game. We just thought they were corpses on hooks.
Yeah, I thought they were just corpses.
But now that there's zombies, that's even scarier.
It's easy to you know, they don't have legs and they're on chains. They can't really
they're on hooks.
Yeah. But there were definitely sounds coming from the room, which was suspect already.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
you had the traditional
I thought that was coming from the hole in the middle though.
Well, it might still be. I didn't say you haven't seen. You haven't seen the zombies move yet. You have only just stepped in the room. So, are we ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Here we go. So,
let's do it.
If I remember correctly, and you can inform the decision if you need to, I'm just gonna put some tunes on in the background. There we go. For the live audience, if the music is too loud, do let me know. Live chat. That would be appreciative. Thank you. Now, I've got to remember all the names. Oregon, you had opened the door because it was open just a crack, and you stepped into this room. This round room with a hole in the center. Hanging from various chains are various body parts that are dismembered bodies, all humanoid. What do you wish to do?
So if I remember the picture, the artwork from last week, there was half a torso, the upper half of a torso.
Yeah, there's a few in there.
Right, I'm going to head over to one of those half torsos.
Yeah.
And confirm the heritage, you know, the human, elf, dwarf.
Okay, so there's kind
Something
of
else.
the closest hook body to you, and we're gonna now. Just for the audience, the players have a map with minis. Now we're going to show you when we need to show you, but for now, you don't need to know. So there you go. We'll get into there in a minute. Okay, so as you start to inspect the body, it is human, or at least it was human, and it's definitely dead. There are bits of skin hanging off. You can see the muscle tissue. It's rotted. It still has hair. It doesn't have a nose. The lips are gone. The teeth are bare. And it's half a torso. It's not just like there's no pelvis or waist. All the stomach is missing. There's still kind of shriveled up lungs inside. The skin is in tatters.
Could I try and make an estimate on how long I think it's been dead?
You can.
I will roll a dice.
It's the first dice roll of the day. We're getting straight into it.
It's a nat 2, so it doesn't really matter what I add to that. I think that's a fail.
You know it's dead. You know it's been a while. How long? You can't. You don't know.
I'll look round to see who's in the room with me.
Yeah.
Me.
Go then.
Yep, I've walked in the room as well.
Okay. Galen, Smigs, where's Theodore?
He was right behind me.
I guess I saunter into the room not knowing what's going on, and I'm like, where are you going?
Theodore, a little scared, huh? Does it scare you?
What in the world is this?
I don't know, Oregon. What's going on? What do you think?
Do you recognise any of these bodies? Are these some of the people you may have hired previously?
Oh, he sort of straightens his clothes and walks a little bit closer. And I guess I would examine to see if I would have known any of these people. Or would you like me to roll?
Just do a knowledge check.
That is a 16 plus, let's see, 16 plus, just, yeah, that's going to be a 18.
Okay, it's a good roll. You stand next to Oregon when you do this. You're inspecting this kind of half cadaver that's suspended on these hooks. You don't instantly recognize him. I mean, it's pretty torn up. It's pretty rotted, so there's no kind of distinguishing skin marks or anything. You kind of briefly start to look around at the, I think, 4 or 5 remaining bodies. Just looking at some of their clothes tatters, male, female, and you're just like, who could have done this kind of stuff? You don't instantly recognize anyone. However, Smigs and Smigs, Oregon, and Galen, you can all hear sounds of, I guess, kind of staggered heavy footsteps coming towards you. There is another opening over here, if you can see that. There's another opening on the opposite wall.
So to our left.
And you can hear, slow, staggered, heavy footsteps. Like, thump, and then kind of like a drag. Thump, thump, thump.
Galen, do you hear that?
I certainly do.
Get out. I don't know. Get something ready.
And I'm going to scurry around that left kind of bend there. I don't want to go all the way to the opening, just about halfway. And just kind of crouch. Yeah, it's fine that way as well. I'm just going to try to crouch down kind of next to the wall. Yeah. Almost trying to hide, but I don't know how dark it is in here, so
based on that picture I sent you last time, if you've still got those pictures handy, if not, look at Twitch. There's a picture there. The way I see it is you're kind of now crouching below those 2 bodies hanging back to back.
In the back, okay, that's fine.
You're kind of underneath them, so you look up and you see their dangling feet.
I moved to just to the other side of Oregon. Looking down the passage.
Okay, so the footsteps grow louder and closer, and then coming around the corner.
I'll step in front of Theo because I don't think he has heard anything because he hasn't reacted.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I'm like into looking at the bodies and just kind of like, this is a bit more than I was thinking.
Okay.
And I'll nudge him on the way past. Heads up, Theo. Something's coming.
And walking around the corner is what looks to be a humanoid. He's big. He's a male human. He's very muscular, but he is horrendously beaten. He is topless. You can see multiple cuts, tear marks. His face is kind of half swollen. His eyes are bloodshot, and as he bumps into the wall, he's shuffling against the wall. There's a big red smear of blood that he leaves behind him, and he slowly kind of and hits the floor, collapses, and this red smear just follows him down. And he's still trying to move. Whoever he is, he will not give up. And this is where we introduce Mark as Barrett.
Yes. So into the room I come, like he said, my clothes shredded, covered in wounds and blood. Like I have brown hair and what's normally a thin, neatly trimmed beard is kind of caked with blood, and I'm collapsed on my knees, crawling into the room. Is there a light source in here at all?
There is. There's a few torches around the wall of the room. There's light source from candles in the room behind the heroes as well.
So I kind of crawl into the room. I look up into the light and I kind of shield my eyes, and I notice 4 figures kind of among these chains and corpses. And sensing possible danger, I try to rise. I'm like grabbing the wall and lifting myself up, and just kind of assuming like a shaky fighting stance. And I just look from each face to the other, and I just I say, know that if you mean me harm, the Red Heart will not go without a fight. However, if we can be allies, I suggest that y'all defend yourselves, for he's coming right behind me. And I start making my way further into the room, trying to get to the other end of the other doorway.
Okay, he is literally dragging himself across the floor to do that.
What do you mean it's coming right behind you?
The devil himself is on my tail. I need a weapon.
You all start to hear now
I-
quite clearly much heavier footsteps. They're slower, they're bigger. Dum, 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 and they're
I
coming
cast
closer.
cure.
I move forward to Barrett. As I say, easy, friend. Take it easy. And I grab the potion of healing that I'm carrying, and I quickly force it down his lips. And I hand him my dagger. And I said, "Defend yourself."
I take it from him. Thank you, friend. And I try to chugging the potion, kind of wipe it off my chin. And I rise, holding the dagger in front of me. And I just look at you, steel yourselves, gentlemen, for you're about to encounter pure evil. And ready myself.
So you hear these footsteps coming closer and closer and closer. And just as Barrett has predicted, this huge figure steps around the corner. He's carrying a hammer. He has like an executioner's hood over his head. This huge kind of meaty, made of wood and steel padlock collar around him. He's bare-chested. He is big. He is brutal. He is about 7 foot tall and probably 7 foot wide. His lower arms are protected in metal, leather gloves with metal spikages on them, just metal plates of spikes. And he's wearing a kilt, a ragged kilt, which has the same kind of metal pleats with spikes, hooks with chains. And you can see even on his feet, as he's stomping towards you, his feet are so big and heavy, he's got to just wrapped around his ankles. Now I'm going to ask the players to roll for initiative. While they're doing that, I'm going to switch to the battle camp. Now, if you're just joining for the first time, this goes a little bit wonky. Just bear with us for a second as we switch these around. Here we go. Boom, boom, boom. And we should all be in our positions. There we go. Now,
Can I ask that? How much did I heal on that potion?
Let's see.
But a 1d8 or a 2d8?
It is 2d4 plus 2, I think.
Okay.
So that's 4. Holy crap. 9.
Oh,
Nice.
Thank you.
okay.
And you got 6 back for Q light wounds as well.
So you've got you've been healed twice, Barrett, and Galen
That's
kind of
6.
helps you up, gives you an arm and gets you back on your feet. Walking in behind you is this executioner kind of figure. So just to make it easy, let's make sure that everyone is in a square. There we go. Now I'm going to go around and ask everyone on the table. So let's start with Oregon.
15.
Oh, we have got a little bit of a problem. We've got two of our faces are wrong. So let me just quickly see if I can fix that. If you want to pick Barrett up and talk to him.
Tell us more about this person that's following you. Who is he?
He's actually a monster. He and a brute that helps him. They abducted a friend and I on the road, and they've had us here for I don't know how many days now, but they've been torturing us just without end. Now, fear for the safety of my friend, I'm trying to find her and free her. Now, this brute, he's just torturing me down the hall there, and I think just out of sick pleasure, he let me go just so he could chase me down again, but he's coming right behind me, and you cannot reason with this man. He's a pure monster.
So you had a friend down here too?
At least one other. I think I've heard a third voice as well, but I haven't seen her.
Theo, what was your initiative, please?
12.
Galen, initiative.
D.
Sorry, what was that?
20.
20. Cool.
Nice.
And Smigs.
Rolled a big nat 1 on that one.
Oh.
So that'd be +3, so a total of 4 for the rogue.
Okay. Galen, you are up first, followed by this brute who's kind of stepped into the room. He is called the Gola. So
Did you get my initiative, Dave?
Say, what was that? Oh, yeah, sorry.
Did you get?
Go ahead.
I had a 13.
13.
I move backwards around behind Theodore. Just literally what? So that's what, 15 feet back.
Yep.
And
stay there.
And I throw one of my cheeky javelins. Just gonna throw a cheeky javy.
Yep, go for it. So you step back you step back past Oregon and then launch it.
That's a 15 to hit.
15 hits.
Okay. And that is 4 damage.
Oof. Okay. But it's a start. Here we go. We're on the roll. Right, next up is Gola. Now, Gola is carrying this massive maul as he steps in the room. He looks at everyone, and you can see where the mask comes down. His mouth is out and open. And you just see a big grin just open up across his face. He starts to stalk Barrett, and he makes his attack. He brings a wide swing as he steps forward. This is proper Resident Evil villain style. This giant hammer comes crashing down. I got a nat 20.
Nice knowing you, fellas. It's fun.
Here we go.
That's 10 damage as this huge hammer pounds into Barrett's back. Barrett goes down under the weight. Okay, next up is Oregon, followed by Barrett.
Okay, so he seems completely focused on Barrett, doesn't he?
Yeah.
I'm going to move behind him, so I'm moving to a flanking position with Barrett onto his blind side,
Okay,
and I'm going to make a swing with my battle axe.
Okay.
Nice sideways swipe. Armor class 13. Does that hit?
Armor class 13 does hit.
In fact, it would be a 15.
Okay.
So
switch back to arm.
that is 4 points of damage.
Okay.
As I move past it, and I try and hit him in the side, distract him, put him off his balance a little bit, and then my bonus action, I'm going to cast another spell and cast Shield of Faith. And because he seems to be entirely focused on Barrett, I'm going to drop Shield of Faith on Barrett, giving you an extra 2 to your armor class.
Oh, thank you.
Okay. Is that your go, Oregon?
That's my go, yes.
Okay. Barrett followed by Theo.
Yeah, so I just got clobbered to the ground, but I'm like quivering, barely have anything left, but I grab hold of my dagger again and I begin to push myself slow to the ground, just drawing on whatever inner strength I have left. You could say I'm taking a second wind here as I stand and try to regain myself. So I'm gonna heal for 7 more hit points. And then I'll just launch, I kind of assume a duelist stance with my dagger and I just go in for a stab.
Okay.
That's going to be a 24 to hit.
That hits.
And that is 9 points of damage.
Ooh, very good. Okay.
Nice.
But then I just stand there looking defiantly in his, right in his eyes.
So you are badump. Here we go. Theo.
All right. Seeing this giant brute in front of me, and him not being focused on me, I pull my rapier from my waist, and I will move to engage.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to be over there. It's great. And so because Let me see. Would I get sneak attack since I have 2 allies in combat with him?
I would say yes. You sneak around the edge of the wall. He's only got kind of limited vision anyway, so I would say you kind of disappear and then get that sneak attack to go for it.
That's it. I mean, that's basically my MO, is to try to get in there, stab, get out, right? So he's going to sort of do that dance against the wall, twirl around, and try to hit him.
Yeah.
Let's see. I probably missed. That's a... Yeah. That's an 11, so probably not.
11 is a miss.
So I try to be really sneaky, and then I'm like, oh.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe I try to hit him, and then like he just kind of brushes it off, like it doesn't even do anything.
It's like you just managed to hit the only piece of armor he's got. You've gone for the back stab or the side stab. You go for the neck and realize there's no way getting through this collar. This collar is protecting his entire neck. Don't forget, there's also a big padlock on there as well. It's like, what is he? Is he a prisoner or what? Is he what is he? Smigs, you're up next.
Okay. I assume I am not hidden, correct?
Correct.
Okay. If I'm not hidden, then I'm actually going to move back 10 feet.
Okay.
Right there. Yep. And then out will come the short bow.
Yep.
And I'll notch an arrow, and like before I fire, I'll kind of like drop the bow and sort of like use my good eye, the red one, and just kind of look, because I really want to shoot right past
Yeah.
him to the center of where everyone is standing. So I really want good aim, and then you'll see me like draw it up and like that red eye, and I'll release it.
Cool. Go for it.
I don't know if that's gonna hit. Damn it. That's a 12 to hit.
Oh, it just goes past, whizzing past his head, and he pays it no attention. So we are now at the top of round. Galen, can you roll a perception check for me?
That is a 19 with +5.
That's right, you passed. You're good. So, weirdly, as you're watching this battle unfold, some reason you're getting attention. You're in your hearing, you're picking up. It sounds like keys rattling. Maybe keys going into a lock, and then you hear a door open, slams, and then behind you, you start to hear heavy footsteps. Dum, 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 dum. And then suddenly, the door behind you, where you came from, and I'm just going to switch cameras again, bursts open. There we go. So this door here, behind you, bursts open. Standing there, so, oi! What's going on? Is this huge,
Jesus.
red,
Oh my god.
red-skinned ogre. He's carrying this massive great club. It's made of metal. It's got 2 spikes of bone on either side of it, like 2 tusks, giant tusks. This thing is now blocking your only escape route. So top of the round, Galing, over to you, followed by the Golem.
I quickly shout, beware the rear, and I move. Let's see, can I move in an angle around behind? What's that? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Behind Oregon.
Yeah, you want to go over here?
Yeah, no. Back through the doorway. Yeah, so, like down past Theodora. If I can, yeah, 5, if I can
10,
move
15,
past.
20, 25.
Yeah. Yep.
You want to go further?
One more. Yeah.
Right, what we do then? Go. Do that.
And
So you can see, as you step out into the corridor, you turn left, there is a doorway. You turn right,
Yep.
and there's a flight of stairs going down into a very well-lit room.
okay. I can't see an ogre being friendly, so what I do is
And we've changed over there as well.
with a what I do is once I reach there, I turn and I quickly start casting, and all of a sudden you see blue sparks emanating from me. I raise my hands and I look at this big, stupid, great big oaf of a thing, and I shout, "Power! Unlimited power!" And I shoot lightning bolts from my hand. That is an actual witch bolt, and I just keep it going.
Nice.
16 to hit.
Yeah, do it. 16 hits.
Oh my god, and a 4 damage.
And this is Gola, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah. 4 damage. Okay. You shock him in the back. There is no movement. There is no physical recognition that he is in pain. Okay, he just carries on doing what he's doing. Now it's Gola's turn. Gola sees the very extremely well-dressed man as he tried to pounce on him. So he's going to make an attack back. Rolled a natural 1. So tried to swing around, completely missing. And I will say...
You're going to have to be a little bit faster than that.
You managed to duck out the way.
Slightly.
He's not going to fall prone on a... It's a huge lumbering oaf, but he's smacks the maul as Theodore ducks, and it hammers straight into that side of that wall next to you, above your head, and it's stuck. He tries to pull this hammer out. He is open to attack. That is his go. Oregon followed by Barrett.
Okay, seeing as Barrett is next, I'd slightly like to hold my action and like to do something together, if you'll allow it.
Okay.
So because he's slightly off balance, because he's swung round and stuck his maul into the wall,
Yeah.
I'm going to use my low centre of gravity against him and just charge forwards into his stomach, into his sternum, and try and carry him on my shoulder towards the chains. As I'm doing so, I'm yelling at Barrett, grab the chains, wrap it round the padlock. Wrap it round the padlock. We need to get him all hooked up in the chains. Smigs, when he's hooked up, hit that lever in the corner. Let's lower him into the hole.
On it!
That's what I want to do. I want to push him, get the chains wrapped around his neck, throw him over the hole, and Smig hit it, and just him go down the hole.
Good idea.
What do you want me to roll? Athletics check for my part.
Yes.
Okay. That is a 14 in total.
What is the bit that you're trying to do? Goad him across?
I'm just trying to push him forwards.
Right, so you're
keeping him off balance, pushing him forward, and then I want Barrett to wrap that chain around his collar with the padlock on it.
Yep.
Get one of them hooks all jammed up in there.
So he's, as you whack, so basically you're standing behind him. You whack just above his kind of well, you're a dwarf, and he's a large, very large man. You whack just above his waist. He's got your face is now into his butt cheeks. You're trying to push him.
Yeah, I want to push him and keep him off balance. That's my part.
Yeah, you're trying to push. Boom. He does not budge.
Right.
He's not as hard as a tree, but then you get the smell of blood and sweat, and there is a massive stank around him. This guy has not had a shower in a very, very long time. Certainly.
And where is your face?
Yeah. And he's got straight in. Barrett.
Oh, going along with his idea, the plan sounded good. It didn't work out so well, but better still grab one of the chains, like one of the hooks, if there's an available hook nearby me, and I'll just attempt to drive the hook into him, like either into the thing around his neck or into his flesh. It works just as well for me.
Go for it. You reach up, you grab this hook. Go for it.
Is that like an improvised weapon attack?
Let's do an improvised weapon, or you can do a strength check.
Well, I rolled a nat 20 on an improvised weapon check, so let's go with that.
Perfect. You literally, how do you want to hook him?
Actually, I'm going for the thing around his neck, but I'll miss that and go like under his jaw, so the hook comes out like into his jaw and out his cheek, like I caught a fish.
Okay. So this big kind of collar that's in the way, you try a couple of times just to kind of get it under. You give up. You angle it sideways and go up. You find a soft spot in his neck. It comes up and out through his mouth. He's there. You've caught the fish. Now you've got to reel it in.
Yeah.
Okay. So he's on the hook.
Then I'll use what movement I have to move to the winch over there.
Okay. So you've done your attack. You're going to go around the hole, or you're going to jump over it?
I'm not going to jump over it. No.
So you go around over to the winch. Okay. But now we get Theo's go.
All right. I guess I was not given orders on what to do here. So I'm just gonna try to keep him distracted. I'm gonna, while he's like probably moving around in pain, I'm going to, you know what? Is he still holding on to that axe?
Yes.
I want to try
he's
to
trying to wrench it out. This is a massive kind of.
I want to try to like
hammer.
Take my rapier and like stab his fingers.
Just go for it, yeah.
All right, cool.
Finger attack.
Yep. That's gonna be a 13 plus 5, 18.
That hits. Okay, so you start stabbing at the fingers. Roll your damage as well.
Yeah. All right, 1d8 plus 3. That's going to be 9 damage there.
Nice.
Dave, did you hear me?
Sorry, I was reading something. Go ahead.
9 damage.
9 damage, that's good.
Yeah. On those fingers.
Okay. You start stabbing the fingers, and you cut off 2. Boom. The thing I was thinking of was if you play Resident Evil Village, he gets a couple of his fingers cut off, and for the rest of the whole game it's just bandaged. So literally you're doing this, ping, ping, and like cutting them off. Okay. We are done on that. Where are we? Right.
Wait.
Yep.
Bonus action disengage.
Okay. Which way you want to go? That way?
I just got that. Yeah. That's.
No, don't go that way. It's the bigger dude.
Oh, yeah, okay, the other way. Yeah, the ogre's there. The other way. Yeah.
He runs frightened into the ogre.
Back this way.
You've got to go towards Galen, or you got.
Yeah, I'll go towards Galen.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there you go. You can go past him if you want.
No, I think that's fine.
Okay.
Or no, I don't want to be attacked, so I'm gonna go past him.
You move past, and again you can see the rest of what's there. I was going to say you can't move diagonal, but I've been playing a lot of Hero Quest recently, so that's wrong. Ignore me. Wrong rule. Right. Okay.
See, after years of playing with Dave, if he says, "Oh, would you want to move this way?" You know it's towards the danger. So
got it. Understood.
There's no fun if you run away, is it? Who knows what you're running towards? What you're being herded towards? But we'll see. So this huge red-skinned ogre comes in. Oi! What you doing, my friend? 1, 2, 3, 4. I know you. Who let you out? And he goes to attack you. Again, this huge... He does a sidewind, boom, with this massive weapon. And that is a natural 1 as well.
Oh.
He swings.
Yes.
And again, just like the jailer, he gets stuck into the wall.
Does he hit the winch?
No, he does not hit the winch. That would have been too easy. So it's stuck into the wall. He starts trying to pull this massive kind of this great club out of the wall. That's his turn. Smigs. Last round.
So Barrett is Barrett just holding on to the chains?
He's there. He's ready.
Yeah,
But he'd used
it was
his
basically I got to the winch, and like my next turn, I'm planning to like crank the winch.
Okay. All right. So, in seeing this giant ogre come towards my way, I'm like, I'm out of here. I'm gonna scurry. I'm gonna scurry along all the way along the edge there, and I'll get about halfway, and I'll be about 5 feet from the enemy there. But I'll get this surge of bravery and like kick up, bounce off of the wall, and then like in the air, you see me reach back and grab a short sword,
Nice.
and just slice up on the enemy.
Nice. Go for it.
And that is a 20 to hit.
Oh, yes. Well done.
Okay. And let's see, that one uses, yeah, okay. That's 5 points of damage.
Okay. It's a good hit.
And then I'm going to kind of like fall to the ground, and I'll reach around the others.
Are you going to Oompa Loompa?
And no, I'm not going to Oompa Loompa. I'm going to fall to the ground, and I'm going to do bonus action 2-weapon fighting.
Ooh.
And you'll just see a dagger fall down from my hip, and I'll grab it, throw it up,
Yeah.
stab it right in his gut.
Nice.
Come on, make the hit. That's definitely hitting. That's a 24 to hit.
That hits.
And because this is my second attack, I do not get the bonus modifier, so it's just the base die. And that's a crit on that, so that's 4 points of damage.
4 points. Okay.
Nice.
You can see he's taking damage. He doesn't physically seem to respond to any pain or anything that's going on, but you can see he's bleeding. So you know there's only so much blood he's got. You mentioned Oompa Loompa, and I had a little surprise for you. if you look over at Twitch, and in 10 seconds you'll see it.
Hang on,
I'm so excited.
Oh, it's not working! No! Oh, there it is.
Not there yet.
There it is. There it is. Hold on. That's why. So I've got to. Oh, it did. You're not going to see it, but it did work. If you were listening to the stream, you'd hear it. But,
on the stream.
Is it below the picture layer?
yeah, it's not. It's below his camera. It's where I had to move him around. Hold on, there we go. I've just put it up now. There we go.
I see it.
Oh my god.
Oompa Loompa. That's Smigs. That's funny.
Sorry. That's for that end. Right. Anyway, back to the really serious game. Right. Okay, so you're done. Top of the round. Galing, followed by Jailer.
I continue shooting lightning from my fingertips. And that is 11 points of damage.
Okay,
Nice.
into the Jailer's back, yeah?
Yep.
Okay. 11. Okay, cool. Right. Jailer's turn. He now sees the little goblin dude running around. And he's going to use... You just see his muscles bulge as he wrenches the hammer finally out of the wall. You see bits of the granite and brick just rain down. And
Great.
he keeps the swing going. and brings it down on top of you. At least he tries to. Let's see. Ooh, that is not... Oh, that's a 17 to hit, so that does get you.
That hits me.
And that's 10 points of damage.
Okay. Okay. All right.
He does not move. Followed by Oregon and then Barrett, please.
I just couldn't move him last time, so I think that might be futile. I'll heft my axe and I will take a swing at one of his hefty kneecaps.
Go for it.
That's a round of ones. That's one.
Nope. Was that a nat one, Steve? Was that
a nat one? Yeah.
So how would you like to fail?
So, being put off by seeing Smigs get squished by them all, I completely... Well, I take an involuntary half step back with sheer power of this maul hitting the floor, and that unfortunately means I swing a bit further away from his knee than I planned, and I end up careening into the wall just at a lower elevation. It's the same move that he did, and the axe is now embedded in the wall, and I've currently got one foot up on the wall underneath the handle trying to wrench it back out again.
You're just trying to do the same thing. Yep. Everyone's just defeating these walls. If only... Oh, if the brick was the enemy, you'd have won. But you're not. Barrett, over to you, followed by Theo.
Yeah, will it take my whole action if I want to like crank this winch a couple times? Just I want to try to get the jailer up off it, like if not completely off his feet, just like a little bit restrained by like lifting him up a bit. So I'll give it a couple cranks.
Okay, so you're going to start doing that. Let's do a strength check on that one. And you've got this giant ogre. And he's got this man. You see now, as you're so close to him, this is a 9 foot tall ogre. He is huge. He is he's basically wearing a loincloth and boots and this massive thing. He's got skulls chained around his neck, and he's looking down at you. And he's still trying to pull out his the great club thing out of the wall. And you see there's this massive scar all the way across his face, almost as if his face is kind of misaligned somehow.
So I rolled a dirty 20 on my strength check.
The dirty 20. That's enough. So you start cranking that chain. The jailer. I keep doing that. The chain starts to tighten, starts to lift him up, starts with his neck. Each crank, you're getting more and more. His feet, then his toes, and then his toes are off the floor as he gets dragged towards the center of this room where there is that massive hole there's a hole in the floor. Let's turn, you've got him there, and so everyone can see. So that circle in the floor, the hole. He is now just inches above the hole, dangling there with this hook through his neck coming out of his mouth.
If that was my full action, then I just look from the jailer to the ogre, and I just ready my dagger and get into a stance, and I just say, "'Tis time for reckoning," and that's my turn.
Nicely done, mate.
Right.
Nice.
Okay, Theo, over to you.
Yeah. So let me see this really quick. So 2, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Yeah, I can get there, right? Yeah. So I'm going to go behind the ogre.
Yep.
Not because I'm brave, but because I would rather not have to fight the other guy. And so I go, "We can't have you stopping our friend here, can we?" And I try to jab the ogre in the back with my rapier, very, very nervously, but yeah. This is gonna not end well. 15. That's nice.
15 hits.
No.
15 hits.
Cool. All right. So then, let's do it. 3. Yes. That's 10. I don't have sneak attack here, or do I? Because I'm in. Yeah.
You're behind him. He's focused on trying to get the great club out of the wall.
All right.
He's watching what Barrett's doing as well.
So I roll. I got a 2.
Yeah.
So it's a 12.
12 damage. But it's
It could have been more. It could have been so much more. No.
That's how the dice. That's why we use real dice, not digital dice. That way you can always blame the dice. You can always buy more dice. That's why we do it. Okay.
I've already decommissioned one because it was the one that I rolled like really low on.
Was that last session?
Yeah.
Okay, so the ogre moves. His name, by the way, is Scar.
Scar.
He's gonna use a strength check to. No, he's got a natural 1. He can't get this thing off.
3 in a row. How bad
He's-
do you have to roll?
I'm gonna get rid of that.
I love
dice
these
now.
dice.
No.
I love them. No. Keep
made
those
me
dice.
convinced.
Keep that dice.
You've convinced me to change the dice.
crap.
His hands just tear off. They're all sweaty. Just tear off this great axe, and he just kind of starts lumbering in with his arms. He's gonna start to punch Barrett if he can. He has got. It's a 14. I don't think he. But Barrett hasn't got armor.
Well, I got that shield from
Ah.
the bump up at AC to 15 right currently.
So, bam! Massive into it because you've got that. So, he does
Good
not
call on
hit.
the shield, Oregon.
This
Good
huge
job. Yeah.
red fist comes down past you. No, I haven't.
What does it look like? What does the Shield of Faith look like?
It's a shimmering force field that appears around him, but it appears as a sunburst. So as he hits him, a bright flash of light like a magnesium flare goes off.
Nice.
Sick.
But you don't take any damage. Then it's Smigs. You see all of this going on. Maverick is in chat. Hi, Maverick. No, that's why I've just changed my dice. I was doing really well. Now I'm not.
Yeah.
He's definitely trying.
Okay. After taking a hit like that, I'm a little bit dazed, so I'm gonna try to get some distance between me and anything that can hit me. And I assume we'll say the jailer is dangling over this hole, right? So he's kind of incapacitated, pretty much.
He is now dangling. Weirdly, he's not. He's very silent. He's not even gurgling with the pain. He's just gently circling by those chains. It's a weird thing to watch. And weirdly, Josh and Clint have changed swap sides again.
And you said that it is a chain. It's not a rope, correct?
It's a chain.
Okay.
He's
All right. I'm
not
gonna
going anywhere.
I'm gonna run back and kind of. I'll take 5, 10, 15, 20 and scurry between Galen and Oregon. All the way kind of back and then between them. Yep.
Okay.
So I'll scurry between them. Watch out, guys! Watch it! Watch your step! And then I'll just I'm running, so I'll just kind of stop and slide around, almost kind of like twist all the way around on my knee.
Yep.
And then out will come the short bow, and I'll take a shot at the ogre.
Across the room. Go for it.
All the way across the room. Yep. Damn it. That's an 11.
Yeah, you missed.
These dice are awesome.
It just shatters on the wall behind that ogre. But you got the ogre's attention.
Yeah, I did. I'll just be there waving.
Top of the round. Galen, over to you.
Okay, so as the golem Gola is spinning, what I'll do is I'll continue shooting the lightning at him, but as it comes around, I'm gonna focus it on the padlock around his neck to see if I can break the padlock as he's hanging there.
Well, remember the chain and the hook is through his neck. It's not through the collar.
No. So I've got the witch bolt on him.
Yeah.
So it's arcing between him and the actual, because that stays on because I've already hit him with it. I don't need to change it. So just I'm gonna put direct all the damage into that to see if I can smash the actual. That's 8 points of damage.
Okay. I'm going to say yes. So as you transfer the light into the lock, you see it spark and it starts to glow, and then it just shatters. Immediately, this big thing that's hanging around the jailer's neck just comes apart. And you can see his bare neck. He's big, he's brutish, he's got big giant veins on his neck. He's got massive scars all the way down. But this meat hook is still keeping him suspended. He's just literally hanging by his neck and his jaw, suspending all his weight. And this dude is big and heavy, but he's still hanging. It's now the jailer's turn. The jailer, while kind of just hanging there like, hey dudes, you see him grab one arm up, he grabs a chain, then he grabs the other hand and starts to pull his entire weight up above the hook, and you see the hook starting to come out of his mouth. And I'm going to roll for it. He's failed. He doesn't manage to get it out, but he then takes another hand and starts to pull higher. Oregon, followed by Barrett, please.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25. So my movement speed is 25. I'd like to use all my movement speed to interpose myself between the ogre and Barrett, please.
Boom. Did you manage to get your weapon out the wall?
No, and I completely forgot about that, so I'm going in with my hand axe only.
Okay.
Because I don't want to use my action. I actually wanted to get his attention by taking the attack aim.
Yeah.
So I run up, I scream at Barrett, if there's a quick release on there, we better use it now. Dump that guy into the hole as soon as possible. I'll keep the ogre off you. And I will run up and I'll try and just get in the feet of the ogre, because obviously he's towering way above me, and try again and chop at the knees, but obviously this time I'm going to have to do it with the hand axe, not the battle axe.
Yep.
That's a 22 to hit.
22 hits.
What damage his hand axe does? It's D6. Yeah. That's 4 points of damage.
Okay.
And I'll look at him and I'll say, come on, you big ugly bastard. Why don't you take on someone your own size?
This thing is 9 foot tall. How tall are you, Oregon?
I love it.
How tall am I? Let's see. I did put it in the description, but I can't remember what it was. I'm 4'8".
So 4'8" versus 9 foot ogre, and you with a tiny hand axe, which is probably like as good enough for gardening. He probably used it to eat his bacon. That's what we're talking about. Okay.
Yeah, but
it's a nice scene. It's a nice
twice the man he is, and if you double 4'8", it's more than 9 feet.
Okay. Barrett, followed by Theo, please.
Yeah, so I want to see, is there any sort of quick release on this winch that will just let the chain fall, or does it have to be hand cranked?
There's a quick release if you want to kick it.
Yeah, I'm going to kick it as hard as I can.
Go for it. Do a strength check for me.
Fingers crossed.
That's a 16.
Okay, so Barrett lifts up his boot, kicks it. Immediately, as you see the jailer, he's almost got the hook out of his mouth. It's still in his neck, but he's just pulling it, muscle bulging as he's doing this. He's holding his whole body weight. Barrett kicks the quick release from the chain. The chains spin, and you just see the jailer disappear down into the hole. The chain.
I just say out loud,
after him.
"Back to hell, you devil!" And then I turn my attention to the ogre.
And then you see the chain, as it's still spooling down, it suddenly goes and grows taut. Well done. There you go. Anything else you'd like to do, Barrett? You can
No,
move
that's-
if you want to move.
No, I'll stay where I am.
Okay. Theo.
Where were these keys we were hearing?
I would say, so on Scar, the ogre, I would say you see a big traditional, big round iron circle with some big wad of keys.
I want to steal those keys.
It's on his waist. You can do this if you want to.
Yeah. we're gonna take those. Just because like we're heading into a dungeon that he obviously has keys for.
Yep.
So makes sense, right? Let's do it. All right. Slide. Would that be? I'm not trying to be sneaky. I just want to take it.
Yep.
So what would I roll there?
Just do a stealth check.
Cool. Nice. That is going to be a 14.
I'm gonna let you have that. I'm gonna let you say that you managed to tag off. So they're tied on, but only loosely because he was in a rush because he saw everyone. So you've got the keys. It's a big round. It's quite heavy. Big round of iron kind of style keys.
Yep. Disengage.
So you're in and then you're out. There you go.
Yeah. That's not. Sorry, I didn't do damage, but I feel like the keys might be helpful, maybe.
It depends where he ends up, actually. So we'll see. So it's.
Does he fit down the L?
Why don't you try? Right. So he's seen you, Oregon. He just looks down at you and goes, "Oh, little ginger dwarf. you wanna have a go at me?" And he takes. That's a natural 19. And
Yeah,
this
that's
big
it.
fist pummels down into you. 4 points of damage. It's not much. Boom.
4 points of damage.
Smigs, you're up.
Okay. Dave's ogres are my favorite.
What you looking at?
Okay. Yeah, I'm feeling pretty hurt still, so I'm gonna keep my distance. I'm gonna take another shot with the short bow. I'm not gonna move or nothing. Stay right there. Short bow shot.
Yep.
That is 19 to hit,
19 hits.
and that would be. Come on, yes, 9 points of damage.
Nice, well done.
I'm gonna try to stick him right in the neck.
Yep, that's fine. He looks at it, goes, "Ow!" And he doesn't pull it out, he just snaps it. So it's still in there. You've got the part of that arrow
nice.
sticking out of his neck, but it's still in there.
You like that? There's where that came from, you big ogre.
I'll have you in a minute. Gonna eat your friends first. Galen, you're up. Top of the round.
I'm going to reach to my side and throw my second cheeky jabby.
Okay.
So we are. That is that's going to be a miss. That's a 7 to hit.
Okay, so you throw it. Lucky it was a natural one, because you would have impaled someone. Smacks
Indeed.
into the wall, and just breaks, shatters, falls to the floor. Anything else you'd like to do?
No, I'll stay where I'm at.
Okay, it's Oregon followed by Barrett, please.
I'm gonna try and move round, please. I'd like to move around some behind him. Now that Barrett's, he's finished with the winch.
Yep.
He can now defend himself. He's ready. You've seen him prepared. He's in his duelist stance. So I want to go to get a flanking position.
Yep.
Okay. So roll with advantage to hit. And that is a 21 to hit with the hand axe, please. So
21
obviously this
hits.
time I'm going to go for the back of the knees.
Okay.
I'm going to try and bring him down like a big old tree. 3 points of damage in total. As I whack again and say, "Come on, was that punch all you had? Is that really your best shot? I told you to give me your best shot."
He takes the hit to his knees. Like, "Oi, you little shit! I'm gonna rip your fucking head off." Barrett, you're up.
Yeah, just following Oregon's lead, I'm gonna start like stabbing him in the knee, the other knee. Wow, let's say 21 to hit.
21 hits.
That is 7 points of piercing damage.
Yep. Okay, he's still standing. He's looking. His knees are the worst for wears at the moment. So, oi! Leave my knees alone. Who's next? Theo.
Yeah. I'm going to move closer, try to stab him.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's see what I. That's a 15 plus. Yeah, that's a 20, a dirty 20.
Ooh, okay. Hit.
And then 8 plus. Yeah. we're just like I stab him in the knee. That's what's happening. I'm stabbing him in the knee. That's a 9. I pull my dagger from my waist and also stab him two-handed weapon fighting.
Nice.
Yeah.
So let's try to hit him again. That's a nat 20, which is unfortunate. Yeah. What is my dagger? Ooh, D4. Nice. So that's no modifier. That is going to be a 6.
Okay.
Damage for the round.
Okay.
Do you still get double damage on that second attack, or just still the same?
I rolled a 6, so I didn't do double damage, but if I get double damage, that would be a lot.
Yeah. Not on the second attack.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Not on this. Yeah.
with the hit being a nat 20, I'm going to say you managed to cut some kind of tendon in the back of his leg. His leg gives out. His left leg. Suddenly he's on one knee. He's like, "Ah!
Nice.
You hurt me." So he's now in a lot of trouble, and it's his go. So he's just gonna the maul, the great club thing that's still in the wall. He's gonna sweep out to you, Theo, with his backhand while he's on one
Makes
leg.
sense.
That is a 15.
Yes.
Okay. That is 5 points of damage. Oh, top marks.
No.
This huge thing just sweeps you up. Boom. Pushes you back a couple of feet as well.
Yeah, I like get thrown into the wall, and you just see like stars basically in yeah.
Okay, Smeeks.
Okay. I'm going to close a little bit of distance here. So I'll scurry up straight forward 10 feet and then jump. I get caught in Galen's like garment as I'm running. And then I'm going to hop 5 foot to the left. So I'm directly diagonal from him. Yep, there we go. And then
You like that last arrow? How about another one? Right in your gut.
and I'm going to short bow him again.
Okay. Finish him.
I'm not sure this will. That's a 14 to hit.
14 hits.
Oh, yes. Okay. All right. 7 points of damage.
Okay, you go into slow motion as you do this. How would you like to finish him?
Oh, nice. So as I see the arrow impact, and it looks like, his eyes are kind of starting to roll back in his head, I will very quickly, I'll just drop the short bow, and you'll see Smig stand up, and from like his on his armor on his chest, I'll just go and pull out 2 daggers and just like Naruto style, like run across, leap into the air, and both daggers just right on either side of his head. Just ride him all the way down until he hits the ground.
Nice. Well done. You have defeated the jailer, and you have defeated Scar, the ogre.
Awesome.
And you have rescued Barrett. Well done.
Thank God for ones on your dice.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I need new dice, people. Help me out.
Yeah, he was doing 10 damage each time he hit.
Yeah, I was just using the average. So to kind of speed up combat, just use the average as 10. Any hit, 10 damage, 10 damage, 10 damage.
Oh yeah.
I took a heavy hit. Yeah.
Yeah, he's cool. Right.
All right.
He's dead. Right, what would you like to do now?
Barrett walks over to the hole and just looks down and just like spits, and then he's gonna march into the other room really quickly, and you kind of hear some scavenging around, some commotion, and he comes back in and he's got a rapier now in his hand, and he's strapping a small shield to his other arm. It just kind of waves him around a little bit, gives him a flourish. He says, "That feels much better." And then he approaches the 4 gentlemen in the room. Have you all been sent by Red Tower to liberate us?
No.
Theodore here is our employer, and Galen found a map of the place actually. So no, we're just exploring.
Yeah, we're just adventuring, you could say, looking for the secrets this place holds.
Those are some dark secrets indeed. I thank you all for your intervention. I fear I would not have survived much longer had you not come along. If I could implore you to help a little further, there's a companion of mine and another poor soul is being held within here. And there's at least one more person around these parts that I know of. So if you could help me free them and get them to safety, that would be much obliged.
I mean, you were a good fighter. I don't see why not. What say you? And he looks around at his band of adventurers.
I'm willing to help. I think we need to get rid of the evil that's infesting this place. So helping others, that's what I was born to do anyway. You have my word, Mr. Barrett. Our aid is yours.
It seems to me that we need to possibly rest and heal.
Yeah,
Is there a place close by that we can?
There are places
Walk
close by.
away.
I don't know that you'd want to rest in them. I've not seen every room in this catacombs here, but I can guide you through some of it back to the cells where our companions are being held.
yeah, I think that's a good idea. I'm definitely not feeling too good.
Well, the ogre came from the doorway in the first room. I heard him locking the door using the keys.
Oh, you mean
the cells.
these? And
Yes.
he holds up the...
Yes, those keys.
Nice work, Theodore.
Oh, yes.
The cells where we're being kept were back through that doorway.
Let's head to the cells first, see what's there, and then maybe on to where the ogre came from.
But do we... I think the question is, do we take a moment to rest briefly at least? Or not?
Let's check the cells first. Smigs, you look like you've taken quite an injury. That maul was pretty hefty.
I'd like
Yeah, it hit me good.
I'd like to do a quick search of the ogre to see if he's
got nothing on him. So you got a few kind of he's got a necklace of skulls, and generally he's just wearing his thong and his boots. But his main item was this giant club.
Did you say he was wearing a thong?
He's got his leather thong on. Ogres are not big on fashion, but they do like to show a bit of skin. So
Yeah.
it's good that Oregon didn't push him in the back, because he may have disappeared.
it's more like it depends.
Yeah.
I've made that mistake before with another shorter character. I don't like ogres. So I go over to Smigs and I'll say, let me take care of those wounds for you.
Oh, that'd be great, Oregon.
And as I approach him, I'll lift my hands up and they glow with like an intense flame. But it's a warming heat, it's not an intense heat. And I hold my hands over the wound that the maul gave him, and it closes up slightly. You get 5 hit points back.
Oh, that's great. Thanks, buddy.
I can
Feel
do
much
that
better.
again, but I think we need to keep that in reserve just in case.
Right.
Barrett walks over. Galen, you're the one who gave me the dagger right at the beginning, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Barrett walks over to Galen and he hands him the dagger hilt first. Thank you, friend. It was very kind of you. And
You're very welcome.
you kind of hear as Barrett's standing in front of Gale, and his stomach starts growling, and he says, "It's been a few days since I've last eaten anything, but forgive me for saying so, but you positively reek of bacon, sir."
Unfortunately, that ship has sailed. And I pull from my pouch a little bit of the rations that I have to give to you. Yeah.
That's a shame, but thank you all the same. Are we gonna rest, or we're gonna go into the cells? I guess.
I think we're going in.
Okay, where's the
axe out
cells?
the wall before we go?
I think it's through the doorway to just next to me.
It's back in the table room, the other door, the north door, that room.
Okay.
Well, if that's the case, before we head back in that direction, Theodore would look at you and say, "So what exactly is in that direction?"
If you go down the stairs, that's the jailer's torture room. That's where he held me, and he just released me before I encountered you. As to what's in that door, I have no idea. I've never seen the interior, but back that way is his torture chamber, down the stairs.
Okay.
Well, seeing as we're there, Galen's next to that door. Should we go through that door first?
Yeah.
And then head back the way the ogre came afterwards.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah.
You're gonna go towards this door, yeah?
Yeah.
So what?
And in case you didn't hear me, Dave, I pull my axe out of the wall.
Yeah, that's fine. Do a strength check.
I
You wrenched it out a
retrieve.
few times this time.
I retrieved my one javelin that didn't go down the hole.
So let's switch the cameras over. There we go. Who switched pop? Everyone switched seats that time. I'm just gonna move people around. There we go.
I think you're just like, getting the audience, testing to see if they really know who they're playing, who the character
Yeah,
is.
it's
Yeah.
can you guess who they are now? That's what it is. There we go. Don't know why it does that. It hasn't done it before. Right, so you're going to go down towards this door here. So let's try and give you a better angle of that. There we go. Who wants to open the door? Who's going first? Give us your marching orders.
Yeah, I'm gonna take up the rear on this one.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll take the front.
Yeah, I was going to say I'm at the door already, so I'll try and listen to see if I can hear anything on the other side of the door.
Yep, perception check for me.
I want to listen in the opposite direction, actually. Just make sure there's no one else back there.
Okay.
15 on the dice, which is 19 total.
Okay. All right.
I rolled a 3, and then that's a 5 total, so I hear nothing. I'm so used to playing characters with perception, and this is
messing you up.
This is the first time I've ever had a character that's had good perception and good initiative, because I'm always last.
That's cool. It works out. There's a balance to all things. So Theo, you're looking down into. You can see slightly more of the chamber now because you're a little bit closer. But as Barrett described it, you can see various torture kind of implements, chains with manacles bound into the wall. There's a coal at fire heating up stabby implements and that kind of stuff. Galen, listening at the door, you hear nothing on the other side.
Okay. In that case, I just open it.
Okay, it's not locked, so as you open it, you step inside, because that's what we do in this game. And look, fog of war disappears, and you see what appears to be a slightly empty room. Someone obviously lives in this chamber, someone who's very slovenly. One corner of the room, let's see if I've got it, there we go. One corner of the room is taken up by filthy animal furs spread across what looks to be a bed. It's a bug-infested straw bed. There is a barrel of slimy water and what appears to be something I don't have handy at the moment. What appears to be an unlocked chest, which is the only other piece of stuff in the room.
Would it appears to be?
Smigs, would you like to take a look at the chest to see if it's trapped?
Well, yeah, I mean, it looks, I guess, all right.
I'm gonna slowly approach the chest.
Okay.
I'm
And
following right behind you.
when I'm within 5 feet of the chest, I am gonna take my short sword out, and I'm just gonna poke the chest with my short sword.
Okay.
I'm not trying to damage it. I'm just gonna poke the chest.
Okay. It's a wooden chest. You just poke it. It doesn't poke back.
Well, seems to be all right.
Put in the short sword, and I'll open the chest.
Okay. Inside, you find what are probably going to be described as trophies, or this is where you kind of think the jailer might have slept. There are various body parts inside the chest. There are fingers, toes, ears, noses, patches of flesh. There are eyes, there are scalps, and there are teeth. All of them seem to have been crudely preserved. But there are also things in there.
They're in pickle jars.
No, assortment of pouches, jars, boxes, whatever he could kind of find or make. Some of the pouches look like they're, dried skin leather bags, crudely sewn together. They don't have a finesse of drawstrings, but it's like it's a pouch of, or maybe like 2 pieces of flesh have been sewn together to make a kind of a pocket or a bowl. You also find there are various other things in there. There's hair, rings, lockets, shiny buttons. There are talismans, coins that you don't recognize. There's also a pair of fine gloves.
Oh.
Also, you find there's even something that Oregon might like or dislike. There's even a few holy symbols. So altogether, I'm just going to tell you that kind of rings, lockets, the shiny stuff, that has a collective value of 920 gold pieces.
Nice. 920G.
Bear in mind, they are belongings to potential victims who are, still hanging up on those hooks. People like Barrett.
Barrett actually goes into the room when he hears like this. They found body parts, and he starts looking through the fingers. Do any of them look recently removed or halfling size?
No, but you do recognize a ring that belonged to your halfling friend.
Then I take that, and I forgive me, gentlemen, but I know who this belongs to, and I would like to return it to her.
Well, I think that'd probably be all right. Seems like there's quite a bit of G here and various different shiny things.
So you'll see, I'm just like there's like fingers and toes flying everywhere, and I'm just like, I guess I'm grabbing the gold, and I'm grabbing some of the shiny things, and I'll yell back to Oregon about the. You said there's like some holy relic type looking things in here.
Yeah, there's various talismans and holy symbols.
All right, so I'll kind of yell back to him about that.
What was that?
Are there any more rings in there?
They're kind of they're not nice looking rings. They're gold bands, steel bands, silver band, but they're dented. They're well used.
Yeah. No, I'm just trying to make sure, the rings that I gave the adventuring parties
Yep.
weren't in
None
there.
of your rings are
Yeah.
present.
All right. Well, and he looks over at Smigs and he goes, "Good find, and of course this will be split amongst all of the people here, but someone should be trying to take care of it." And so he's reaching to try to grab some of it. What do you do?
Yeah.
Whoa. You want to make sure that everything gets split equal style, right?
Yes. We can do that. I am trustworthy. I have brought you here, and I put up 25 gold myself to buy a healing potion for the party. Yes.
Well, you did, so we might have to divvy it that way.
All right.
And my like little leathery hand is like just sitting on top of yours, and I'm just.
And he goes, "Oh yes, okay. Don't do that again, please. You can hold it for now, but when we get out of here, because this is the party that I've put together, allow me to look at all of the things we have collected. Can we at least agree on that?"
Well, if everyone else is in accord.
I'll just kind of look around.
Of course.
More,
we're
my
gonna
gaze is more
attempt-
towards Oregon.
We're going to attempt to return it to its rightful owners first. I mean, fortunately here, Barrett was able to recognise the ring of his friend, and maybe there are other people in town that can recognise their loved ones' belongings.
Yes,
Maybe
yes.
rewards that exceed the value of the treasure. Who knows?
That is a great point. Maybe that will be it. And you see a slight smirk on his face. He doesn't want to do it, but
Yeah, and neither does Smigs. Smigs is kind of just looking at, Smigs is looking at Oregon like,
Always got to be Mr. Righteous.
Barrett kind of tucks that one ring into his torn up pants out of sight for the moment.
The halflings one.
it's smart. That's a smart move with this party.
yeah.
All right.
So where are you guys going next?
To find your friend.
Was there any other way out of the torture room? Do you remember, Barrett?
Yeah, there was a one way. It was like a hole in the wall. It was dug through the wall, and that led to a room with a boatman statue, and it was some sort of sinister idol, I believe. There's a room beyond that where there's a pool of water and a board, and they would tie us to the board and dump our heads underwater, try to drown us. I know there's a storage room, and then there's the cells. As I said, there's a few more rooms that I don't know what is beyond the doors.
But where you were kept was in the opposite direction, back the way the ogre came. Is that the cells that you were kept
Yes, that's
in?
where the cells are. Yeah.
So your friend is most likely to be in that direction.
Yeah, they would only take us out one at a time to have that fun. But both my friend, my employer actually, Dugan LeVay, she should be back in the cells, and there was another fella who was brought in after we were captured. His name was Iqbal, two halflings, and as bad as I look, they took it far worse. I think they had more fun torturing the small ones.
Ogres tend to be that way.
I have a question, Dave.
Mm-hmm.
Can I roll a history to see if I know who that lady, the halfling name he said
Go ahead. Yep.
would be?
Go for it.
Yeah. That's going to be a 15.
Okay. You've only been in the Red Tower village for a few days before setting off towards the Citadel. This is not someone that you met and not someone that anyone was expecting. So
Okay.
this name has not come up.
Well, should we head to the cells? If we free some more prisoners, then maybe they have more information on this place. Maybe I don't know. I'd like to rescue anyone that can be rescued.
Yeah, I agree. The only other question I got is there's a barrel set next to the chest, right?
There is, yeah.
Is it look like it has a removable lid, or it's just a barrel?
No,
of stuff?
there's
It
no.
had water.
It's got water in it. It's got water in it.
It's
Oh,
got,
sorry.
Unclean.
It's got
water.
gross water in it.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
There's a foul smell, but if you want to give it a taste, you can try.
Why do we need a bath?
the bed with the furs and stuff, I use my Javi to like peel it back to see if there's anything in the actual bedding.
You peel back this kind of bare skin that seems to be there, and even under the first layer with your javelin, you can see these like cockroaches and bugs scuttering in. It's nasty. There's nothing there.
Yeah.
Just bugs.
Yeah.
If everyone is in
cells?
agreement, I'll lead them through the circular room back to the door where the cells are located.
Okay, so what we're going to do, folks, is we're going to take a quick 5-minute break there, just to let our players, visit the potty, grab some drinks, grab some snacks, and when we come back after the break, we're going to have a quick Q&A with Mark. He's a comic book artist, also does character commissions, and we're going to be showcasing some. We'll put up some of his work so you can see it all, and we will see you in about 5 minutes. Is that okay? Right, we'll see you in a bit. Bye-bye. Hello, everyone. We are back. We are fed and watered and all kinds of other bits and pieces. Now, pardon me, I just had to download a drink and food quite quickly. We have Mark Roberts. Mark with us. Hi, Mark. How you doing? Enjoying
Hello.
it so far?
I'm having a blast. Yeah.
Cool. So Mark is a comic book artist, but he's also taken character commissions. So I'm just going to bring up some of his work so you can all see it and you can make comments. If you have a question for Mark, do let us know. The artwork is coming up now. So just put your question, for those of you joining us live, put your question into live chat and we can ask Mark straight away. If you happen to be watching this on YouTube, you can't ask him, it's too late, you've missed it. So just make that perfectly obvious. So Mark, what's your background and what kind of stuff have you worked on?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I've been a comic fan and reader my whole life and always wanted to work in comics. I kind of went to art school, like graduated in 2000 at the Savannah College of Art and Design. I took some sequential art courses there, kind of learned, some basics like comic coloring and stuff like that. And then later in about 2008, I decided I was going to go at it, like just actually stop what I was doing, quit my job, and I was just going to start working on it, put together a portfolio, submit it, and try to get work. And it took about 6 months, but I started putting together a coloring portfolio and started sending it out, and I got my first published gig and got my next one, and eventually worked my way up from smaller companies to like Dark Horse Comics, working on Conan.
Mm-hmm.
Then I went to like Dynamite, did some Red Sonja. I got to DC Comics. I was working on lots of stuff there. I worked on the He-Man book, the DC's He-Man comic for like two plus years.
Cool.
I did like Injustice. I work on a lot of characters. And then, last couple of years before I left, I decided to leave, take a break from comic coloring. I was working on a lot of the official Star Trek books, stuff like that, which is a lot of fun. So yeah. And then with COVID, things kind of got a little shaky in the industry. Like, books were getting canceled, whatnot. So I took a break from it and just focused more on doing commission work and stuff I enjoyed. I play a lot of D&D. I mostly am a dungeon master. So I enjoy playing, running games, and doing artwork for it in my free time. So
because for those of you who are interested, who want to know, I met Mark basically on Twitter online because I announced we were going to be running Scarlet Citadel. Mark replied, I'm running that too. And then we just started talking, and that was it. So we've been sharing notes about how to do the finest TPKs that you can. And it's interesting as well because his team are exactly almost the same point. So when we did this last week with the first episode and made it into that kind of zombie room with the chains and everything, his team. Did you say they've just finished that room? Yeah,
they had messed around. I took them to Red Tower, and they're more goofballs, so they spent a lot of time just screwing around in Red Tower and had some personal vendettas against some NPCs. And then they made their way slowly through the woods. By the time they finally got there, so on our third session, they finally went down in, and they ended basically where you guys did in that same circular room, maybe a slightly further. But again, I'm running it. Dave and I are running it somewhat differently, so it's kind of fun to see.
That's cool. So again, just to kind of harp on that, if you want to kind of come play with us, all you got to do is get in touch. Make the first step, get in touch, and you'll end up just playing around with us as well. Now, so some of the artwork that's coming up, we've got clips, we've got pages here from, you said, Red Sonja, we've got the Star Trek DC crossover, you've got some He-Man stuff in there as well, mixed in with He-Man. Some of your fantasy. You got some fantasy commissions and stuff in there as well. Yeah. Who has been over the years? Who has been your favorite comic publisher to work for?
Ironically, I've always been a
piece.
Yeah, ironically, I've always been a make mine Marvel kind of guy. So it's kind of sad that I worked for like every company in the U.S. but Marvel. So I'm a little disappointed with that. Like I'd still maybe I'm done with comics. I'd like to go back into it. Maybe not as a colorist, but maybe doing some actual artwork or covers. But someday I'd like to do some Marvel work. But yeah, I grew up reading superhero comics. I grew up on Conan. One of my favorite characters and one of my favorite comics growing up. So getting to work on that was a total, just absolute joy. And I also watched He-Man as a kid. So I got really lucky. A lot of the stuff that I grew up on, I got to work on so many of those characters, and it was always just like a total treat to get to work on them. Conan, Red Sonja, He-Man, and then just like Star Trek. I grew up watching Star Trek, so that was a blast getting to work on all that. And even the new show, this Discovery, I got to work on a graphic novel for that and one of the series. That was a lot of fun because I was watching it. I'd like watched the first season, and then I worked on a book like immediately after that. It was a lot of fun.
Because when we were talking before, because we had a couple of chats now, but like your fantasy artwork is stunning. I mean, all of the artwork you've got here is stunning anyway.
Thank you.
The fantasy stuff. Have you thought about like drawing in comic format your own D&D adventures that you and your party has, and then just do it as a Patreon, do it as a Kickstarter, get out there and showcase?
Yeah, I've definitely entertained that idea, and like I've been thinking of like launching a Patreon this year, and that could be part of it. Just doing like an ongoing, either like black and white comics, either featuring. I mean, some of the artwork that might scroll through here is like some of my personal characters from my D&D campaign or my players' characters. So I definitely dabble in that. And now that I kind of have more free time, and I think I started Patreon, then I might actually put together something like that. Yeah.
Cool. So, Randy, sorry, you had a question as well.
Yeah, I mean, it got asked, but I came up with another one because this is all just really fascinating, just because I can't draw at all. It's like not a skill I have. If you were to draw for Marvel, for example, what hero would you want to work on?
Oh, man. I mean, I'm an X-Men fan,
Yes!
first and foremost.
Nice.
I mean, when it was the comic, I mean, probably what got me into it the most was reading Uncanny X-Men back in the day. I mean, that's something I would love to work on.
Love the original X-Men comics.
Oh yeah, still to this day, I do like a full read through every year or so. Just go through all the graphic novels and read it through.
There's a certain thing when if you grow up falling in love with comic books and novels and films, there's now become a yearly ritual where we end up watching the Lord of the Rings trilogy, like the extended version, and also going back to my earliest comic books when I've got a complete series and just go, yeah, just leave me alone. I'm hibernating. I'm just gonna read from my book. I love doing all that stuff.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Steve, did you say you had a question earlier?
Yeah, it was the one I got in. That was Randy's. What's your favourite piece?
Oh man, I mean, comics work. I think in comics, I gotta say the Conan stuff was great, just because it was probably my biggest breakthrough with one of the larger companies for Dark Horse, and it was a great page rate. That was helpful, but it was also not only working on a character that I loved, but I got to work on it with an artist who I grew up loving his artwork, Bart Sears. I mean, that was such a great mix that it was just like an absolute joy to work on. And I think there's a couple pieces scrolling through of that collaboration.
Conan's so expressive in all the comic book art I've seen for Conan. It's so elaborate and so expressive, and it's very it's extraordinarily detailed compared to like Marvel or DC comics.
Yeah, and that's always what drew me in too, is this. I mean, I'm like, fantasy is like my number one love, and then like below that you've got like sci-fi and comics. But I mean, fantasy is like, I played D&D as a kid in the 80s. I mean, I absolutely loved all the black and white artwork in the old manuals and books and modules. So I mean, I love that kind of stuff, and that's what I've done some pieces. I think maybe I don't know if they're scrolling through here or not, that like more modern fantasy stuff that I've done, that I've gone back to. Like, I did a lot of digital work for comics. It's all like Photoshop and digital painting. So now I'm kind of going back into more of just black and art line work, exploring that further. And I think that's like you said, like it's like almost nostalgic. I'm like revisiting an early love, because I used to love that sort of artwork when I was younger. And now everything's gotten like digital and bright and effects and all that. And I love that stuff too, but I'm trying to like dial myself back into more traditional artwork.
There was a piece that's coming up on the circle. Let me just see if I can pause it there. It's the woman who's basically drowning.
Mm-hmm.
What's the story behind that piece?
Well, that was actually a commission piece that was for a female streamer, and that was the Half Elf Warlock she was playing. And I believe I did 2 pieces for that. I did just one, like a standard fully painted character shot, and then she also wanted a companion piece, which is basically detailing the origin of her character. So her character was like a shipwreck. She'd fallen in the water, and this like Leviathan or tentacles like grabbed hold of her and pulled her down under. And it was either like serve me or die. And that's how her origin came about. So,
oh wow, that's a patron. That's a patron. That's cool.
Yeah. The artwork is stunning. I mean, the colors on that are beautiful. You got that kind of transparent wrap, as you said, the tentacles wrapped around the wrist. The styling of that is lovely. I'm really impressed with that piece. And
Thank you.
and she is just literally, she's what, a foot away from the surface and screaming with her last
Yeah,
breath.
she was being held like just below the
Yeah.
surface, which is
It's a gorgeous but terrible piece at the same time. That is.
Thank you.
I know you said you predominantly GM nowadays. I guess a question I have is like, what's a character that you've played or seen in or a piece of a story you GM'd that just like really stuck with you in tabletop?
Oh man, I have I have a pretty wide range of players. Some of them just like they come up with the goofiest thing they can imagine, and then others who like take it really seriously. But I mean, I've had some just absolutely crazy characters. Actually, what I'm running right now in Scarlet Citadel, one of my players is playing a mushroom folk, and he's a mushroom folk warlock, and he's like does almost nothing in combat. He just kind of shrinks down into a little barrel and hides, but he has a familiar that he uses to fight, and it's just I mean, it's a gas. It's hilarious. It cracks me up every time. So yeah, I mean, I've had just to narrow it down to just one is hard because there's just been so many crazy characters. But
So take us through the process of doing your character commissions. How do people get in touch? Is there a cost? Is there like you do some drafts?
Yeah, so mainly most of my commission work comes through social media. So I get contacted on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook. And it's just people asking, I've seen your work. Are you taking commissions? And, I'll tell them what my rates are. It's, for like line art and colors, it's one rate. And for paints, it's like another. So it kind of depends also on what's being asked. Sometimes it's a single character with no background. Sometimes it's a full party with a burning castle in the background. So, I mean, it's all kind of depends. But yeah, anyone can get in contact with me through, on Twitter, Mark H. Roberts, and on Instagram, it's the Mark H. Roberts. So you can always just drop me a direct message and talk to me about rates and what you're looking for.
Cool. We've got some links going up in live chat as well, everyone. So if you're watching on live, you'll see them there. Again, if you're watching this on YouTube, you have to do it manually because you won't see the chat.
Yeah, so people just contact me and they tell me what they're looking for, and I'll let them know the rates. And if they want to move forward, then what I have them do is send me as much description as you want. Some people have like Pinterest pages of everything detailing their character's armor and every little detail about them, and some of them just like, I play a dwarf cleric, forge cleric, go nuts.
Yeah.
So it kind of varies. Again, it's different with everybody, but I'll always start out doing rough sketches and send them designs, and then they pick one that they like, and then I move forward to do the final piece, and then present it one more time, and if everything looks good, then we complete the transaction. So basically. Cool.
And what do they get? They're able to use that on anything. You just sign it away and it's theirs.
Yeah, I don't like claim rights to it. If someone pays for it, as far as I'm concerned, it's theirs. You can do whatever you want with it. So
cool.
And it's digital art, so they can give it to them if they're looking to use it for tabletops or anything like that, or they want to use it on their stream. I mean, I can give people whatever they're looking for as far as digital files. So.
Cool. That's nice. So you've done comic book art. You do fantasy commissions and the Conan, the Red Sonnet. Have you approached? I know we've spoken about this in various chats, but where are you into? Your love of D&D.
Yeah.
What about Wizards? What about Pathfinder? What about Cobalt Press?
Oh, I would absolutely love to work for any of them. I mean, I've submitted some work to like Paizo and to Cobalt Press, and I mean, I'm sure they get like slammed with submissions, so I haven't heard anything yet, but I would absolutely love to do, even anything, just black and white artwork, fully painted. I mean, I'd love to get into more fantasy illustration work would be great. So something I'm also pushing towards this year.
Is that just for like drawing the various titles and stories, or do you have plans to do your, like I mentioned, you can draw your own D&D adventures? And your party's going on, but have you got your own story? You get many kind of over the years. You get the artists who want to tell their own stories in their own way.
Yeah.
Have you done your own stuff? Have you written your own stuff, or just forget the writing and just illustrate it?
No, I do a lot of writing. I mean, my writing is kind of like just pages and pages of random notes that when I jot down ideas and scattered on paper. Some of it on paper, some of it's on like OneNote online. But yeah, I mean, I put together a lot of stuff, and I write my own like homebrew campaigns, and I start writing out lores, and I come up with NPCs, and it's all kind of, I'm writing it and I'm presenting like as open a world as I can for my players, but I'm also like, you know what, there's like a really cool story in there. I got to like make notes that I want to use this like NPC somewhere. And then like one of my old PCs that died in a very early in a Tomb of Annihilation campaign. I kind of bring him back as an NPC, and I also have like story ideas for him. So kind of always developing ideas. It'll be mostly like I need to focus on one and like actually put something out there.
Because we've met a lot. I mean, I mentioned Wizards and Pathfinder and Kobold, and they are the publishers of these games. But something that if you watch Band of Badgers, something that I'm a big fan of is Kickstarters. There are so many Kickstarters who are doing their own fantasy books, fantasy series, their own kind of monster manual collection. What about that? What about if there's a successful or a Kickstarter that's in progress? Is that something you can jump onto as well? Is that of interest?
If it's already in progress, I'm not sure about if they're hiring art teams at that point. I guess it depends on where the Kickstarter's at, but yeah, it's not something I've looked too deeply into. It feels like there's so much saturation out there already that it would be hard to find, like to break in with something like your own monster manual. It seems like there's a lot of that stuff out there, but I mean, I know I have contributed to like some smaller stuff. I've done some like monster illustrations for some people's like stuff that they would publish on DM's Guild. I've done stuff like that.
With the front covers, the extra art and bits and pieces. You mentioned right at the start about your background in terms of college or art school. Was there any other diversion for you, or did you know that was it? You wanted to get into art was a direction for you.
Yeah, no, that's always been what I would like. As soon as I could pick up a comic and start reading, I was reading comics and drawing comics, and that's pretty much was my focus all throughout high school. And I got into a specialty program in New York State for a summer art school, and then I got a scholarship to go to the Savannah College of Art and Design, and I went down there for 4 years, and yeah, it was a lot of fun. I mean, it's what I've always wanted to do. And then getting out of college, I kind of moved around a lot and worked a lot of odd jobs before finally saying, like, I got married, had a kid, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to pursue what I've always wanted to do. And that's when I kind of dug in and started working towards it. So I was like 30 at the time. So, I mean, it's it's never too late. You can break in and whatever you're looking to do. It's just a matter of devoting the time and the effort to it. And I think, eventually it'll pay off.
You mentioned the kind of putting everything on the line and giving it a go. Are you, apart from global pandemic kind of getting in the way, are you still happy with your decision?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I have no regrets. I mean, I didn't always want to be a colorist. That was kind of like, well, I'll break in as a colorist and then maybe, I'll move to like drawing or something. But I got into it and I was like, just nonstop work. Like for so long, I'm like, well, I don't have time to like work on my own art anymore, which has kind of been a nice thing with the pandemic.
That's cool.
Is that when I said, okay, comics is becoming too much for too little, I'm going to take a break. And then I focused on my own artwork. And I think just over like the last year and a half, my own artwork has grown a lot just because I've been back to drawing my own stuff and doing my own colors and paints and inks and all that stuff. So yeah, I mean, it's been kind of,
What's your tool set? Do you sketch something up
I
first?
had a question.
Go on then. Sorry.
Because it went on from what you were just talking about, actually.
Yeah.
So we're getting back into doing your own artwork, and somebody comes to you with a commission and says, "I am playing a dwarf cleric. Go wild." Where do you start with that?
Usually, I mean, depending on, I usually hope they give me something about personality. I've always asked for like, what is your character? What would they do? Or what, how do they interact with the party? Or just give me some kind of personality traits. And then I'll incorporate that. And just based on the class, subclass, background, perhaps I start pulling ideas and I start maybe looking for references online. If they have a specific, like a sailor background or a pirate, I'll start looking for stuff along those themes. And to kind of bring together images. Then I'll start just doing rough sketches. And like most of it is digital because people don't really want physical artwork so much these days. You've got to like mail it across the country or whatever. So digital is so easy. So then I start just getting in Photoshop or Clip Studio and I just do like really rough sketches, like digital pencil sketches. Until I settle on a design or two. And then I send those along to the client and just get their feedback.
Do you get a chance to do the art that you just want to do for yourself sometimes?
More so lately. Like when I was in comics, I almost had no time ever to do my own artwork. It was just constant deadlines and, it was fun, but it was fast paced and it was draining. When I'm doing commissions, I've stayed like incredibly booked for like a year and a half of just like 2 months out, I'm booked. And I've been kind of cutting back to not take on quite as much, just so that I can actually focus on my own artwork. And so, yeah, like I said earlier, like that's my plan for the 2022 is to like focus on my own artwork more and putting something out there like a Patreon where I can just hopefully make some money putting my own ideas and stuff out there instead of always just doing other people's stuff.
Cool. We're gonna wrap it up after one last question. If you have a question for Mark, do put it into live chat. People have been sending questions via Twitter. Thank you. If you can put it into live chat, it's probably easier, and we can see it. So do let us know. What's you mentioned like you're using Clip Studio. What other stuff are you using? Do you go digital pen, tablet, and straight in? Are you using iPads?
I don't know.
What's your go-to?
If I could pan over here, I have the Wacom Cintiq 27-inch monitor, which you draw directly onto.
Oh, so, lovely.
Yeah,
that's expensive.
It was. I mean, I paid for it with I kind of treated myself. I got a gig doing an Assassin's Creed motion comic, which was actually directed by F. Gary Gray. It was for Assassin's Creed Syndicate, which was a lot of fun, but it was a ton of work, like a month of like nonstop work. But it paid really well. So I'm like, my treat, I'm buying myself a 27-inch Cintiq. Nice. I had the smaller version before, and even before that, I just had the little tablet. So yeah, if I could pan over, you could see the kind of my setup, but I don't want to disturb the camera setup right now. Yeah, so I'm just sitting here in front of, I would move over like 3 feet and just I'd be drawing on my other monitor and, you know, watching D&D streams on the other one while I'm working. So.
As long as you watch Band of Badgers.
Absolutely.
You got the Maguire review in between. Then you got the Harbinger's stream as well, because the new one's, is the new one out yet, Randy?
No, it's not. We're recording it live. Right, so that's the thing. So we're all going to go down to, well, I'm going to go down to California because I'm the only one out there. But we're excited. It's coming soon. It's in the works. It's exciting. There's a lot of exciting stuff there. So if you haven't seen that, Mark, it's a really cool Savage Worlds
nice
TTRPG that I'm in.
Nice.
I really, really like it. And Megan Caves, who is the GM, is a phenomenal storyteller. So it's awesome.
Yeah. Completely back that as well. It was fun. It's a very, very good series. And then I was going to say to Clint, does Ardent Roleplay need any? Do you do 3D modeling, Mark? Like
no, I never got into 3D. No. I messed around with it in college a little bit, but it was over my head. Computers were like still new back then, like the internet had just come out and none of that. There were no cell phones, so it was like I was still drawing traditionally mostly back then as well. So, I wish I had. I mean, I love 3D animation, 3D modeling.
Right, so we are going to leave it there, folks, but we'll put up, the stuff is still on live chat at the moment, but you can catch Mark on Instagram.com/TheMarkHRoberts, and you can also find him on Twitter.com/MarkHRoberts as well. Mark, thank you very much for joining us. Stay around. We've still got 1 hour left to go before total party kill. So let's see where we go. Right. So my players are just gonna find the cells. They have the keys. Let's. I'm gonna switch over the cameras.
Is it one of those moments where you're like trying every key on a key because you don't know?
Yeah.
It's a massive janitor's key ring.
Pretty much. Yeah. It's swapped around again. It keeps doing it. Look at this. Right. Okay.
Ooh, I get to be Barrett this time. Okay.
Everyone's moved apart from Steve. There we go.
So as we're traveling to the other room, Barrett will just explain that he's actually like the personal bodyguard for this Dugan LeVay, and she's a traveling merchant, and we were on our way to Red Tower, camping on the road in the forest, and we were attacked at night, stuffed into sacks, and like dragged to who knows where, and we ended up here. We've been here for days, we don't really know, and it was just like they take one of us out at a time, torture us, bring us back, and then a couple of days ago, another little halfling fellow was brought in, and they're doing the same to him. So I'll just let them know that much as we're kind of walking the short distance to the cells.
Are they asking you questions while they're torturing you, or is it just for fun?
No, that's the thing. They never asked us a single question. I think it was just our pain was all they were after. Just some twisted individuals. The jailer.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
What do they look like beyond the troll or the ogre and the jailer? Are there any other individuals?
I've only seen as I was been dragged from one area to the other. I saw a third figure, just kind of dark. It was dark and they were hooded. I couldn't tell, but I've heard the voice, and it's a much softer voice. It might be a female, I think, but that's the only person I know of. I know there's a third. I know, but there could be more beyond that. I don't know.
So, players, you are in front of the door to what you believe Barrett says is the cells. This is the door in the main room that you kind of entered into, and it has the slidey door thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Who has the keys?
I do. And so I start fumbling around with them to open the door.
Okay. So we're gonna put you up front. There we go.
Scary.
Right, and then we open the door. And you can see. There we go. So you've got a series of rooms there. If I can show that right. There we go. You're on literally on the edge of the map, so I'm just trying to get as good an angle on that as I can. Now, so you can see all those rooms. The chamber obviously contains 6 cells closed off by iron bars and locked doors. Some have damp, mildewed, bug-infested straw, pretty much like what the jailer had, heaped in a corner, while others are fitted with wrist and ankle shackles anchored to the walls. The cells are each large enough to hold several prisoners, and at least one is occupied. Judging by the painful groan that you hear and you see huddled on the floor are 2 small people, obviously halflings, in the middle cell.
On the right or the left?
Let's say this one. So on the left.
Barrett just runs down the hall to the cell and like just starts pulling at the door.
Yeah, I would try the keys. I would follow and try to. Okay, slow down. We'll get them out.
I'm going to take up a guarding position on that corridor entrance to the left there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'll follow in behind him and do the same thing.
Over here, yeah.
It's back to back, Oregon.
I love Smig so much.
He's gonna get himself killed.
Yeah. So you get the keys. I've still got marks stuff on there. That's true enough. Okay. So you see the 2 halflings on the floor. You get the door open, and Barrett, you kind of rush in there. Gailing and Theodore, you're kind of the both closest. You see Dugan LeVay is the female halfling. Okay, I've got, let's see if I've got some artwork. There we go. So Dugan LeVay is the female halfling. She's sitting on the floor, her legs underneath her back up against the bars of the next cell. And in her lap, she's cradling the other guy who's Ichabod. Ichabod. And he's seemingly unconscious. She's stroking his hair as best she can. You can see that she has one arm. She's keeping one arm. She's just stroking his hair. But you can see that he is. So Barrett, you see this as well. He is not in a very good condition. Probably worse since you last saw him. He's really deteriorated. He's got a very bad fever. He's burning hot to the touch. And you can see it kind of moan, and he's twitching and moaning in her lap.
Barrett rushes in and just goes to Dugan. He's just like, trying to soothe her and let her know that it's going to be okay. It's all right. We're gonna get you out of here. That devil is dead. We took care of him.
Are we free, Red? Is this nightmare over?
I think so. Yes. I think we can just walk on out of here if you're able to walk.
I'll certainly walk out of here. Yes, please. Just I don't know about Ichabod. He It's been so long since you woke up and spoke to us. I know he's in so much pain and his wounds, and there's nothing we can do about his wounds.
If he cannot walk, then I shall carry him.
Thank you, Red. Thank you.
And the rest of you, do you all need a rest before we try to continue?
You want to Red?
But,
We can't stay here.
should we
can't
take
rest
the
here.
We should probably take them back to town.
back to Red Tower? Let's. Yes.
Yeah. Please allow me to introduce myself. And you see Theodore sort of straighten up and start his like spiel about like his family, and I am Theodore of Talon, and I'm all of this stuff. It's very formal, and then he sort of shakes his head and he goes, "We're glad you're okay. We'll try to get you out."
When you're doing your kind of your grand spiel and introduction, you see Ichabod, as he's kind of twitching and he's unconscious, his arms just kind of flop out onto the floor, and you realise that the stains on him is all dried blood stains. Both his hands, all his fingers have been cut off. He just has open sores and wounds. All his fingers are gone on both hands. He's just stumps, bloody stumps. And then you look at her and you realise that the arm that she's keeping hidden, she also has like 2 or 3 fingers missing. Ichabod is in a bad way, and all that pretense, as you said, just kind of drops.
I pulled that ring out from my clothes and I hand it to Dugan. I'll trade you. I found this for you, and I put the ring into her hand that's still with the fingers intact, and I take Ichabod from her in my arms, and I just begin to carry him out into the hallway.
Right. And Theodore sort of turns to the rest of the party and he goes, "There's more here, and we need to figure out why this is happening, but we should definitely get them out, I think."
Already indebted to you, Theodore, but even further, and I will repay you if I can for saving me and my friends here.
Right. What do you think? And he turns to the group.
Galen, you're closest.
I think it is the safest option. This Ichabod doesn't seem to be in the best of condition, and I fear that if we wait much longer, he will perish. So we should, with all haste, help these people back to Red Tower.
I don't know that he'll even survive that trip. I haven't seen her, but I've heard there's a witch that lives in the woods and she can often heal. She's capable of making potions, perhaps. She may be able to help us, and it might be a quicker journey.
And
When you say potions, Smigs, you see his ears kind of perk up.
She wouldn't happen to have any poison, would she? Poisons.
He said potions.
I heard poisons, not a potion. I heard him say.
It is the witch, and we think that the witch might have poison.
She is a witch. I've heard her called a witch, and I believe she may be able to cook you up something.
Well, that's settled then. That's what we're doing.
All right.
And he's just like spastically like
All right.
kind of looking around like, let's go.
The witch also made them bezels
Yes,
to the
indeed.
guy we spoke to in town.
Right.
Cutting out the middleman.
But also, if we leave and we get them the help they need and we can rest, then we can forge forward a bit more. Yes. Or,
This place has me intrigued.
There's definitely more to discover.
If we do head towards the witch, there is just one thing I want you to all be aware of. The owlbear is out there and I have no more bacon.
I forgot about that. Sorry, that was Randy. That was not Theodore.
That's true.
Well, I'll tell you something.
I did not kill that.
I'm so hungry I could eat the north end of a southbound owlbear. So if we do encounter it, it might be fortuitous.
My vote goes to the witch.
Yeah,
Agreed.
yeah. Smigs is all witch.
Smigs is 100% witch. Like 200%. Let's be honest.
Okay, so as Barrett and Theodore and Galen lead, well, Barrett's carrying one of the halflings, Theodore's helping the other one. You see the various wounds and the state condition they're in. It becomes kind of, this was supposed to be an adventure to look for treasure, and this is turned into a version of Hostel. So you decide to get these people out to safety. So you crawl back out the exit that you're aware of.
On the way out, can we lock that door?
The one you just came through.
Yeah.
This one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. You can lock it.
And the door that goes to the zombie chamber, can we lock that one as well?
I would say yes. One of the keys will fit on that.
Okay. We don't want anything that's in here getting out. Obviously, if they've got their own set of keys, we can't stop that. But
yeah. But we could try, you know.
You can try. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So you make your way through the exit, as you know of, which takes you up into the ruins. Slowly, as you go, as gently as you can, you pass the two kind of halflings between you all, carrying and passing up the various holes. Remember, there's a chamber and all those bones. You had the hole in the ceiling, so you've got to traverse that. As you leave the Scarlet Citadel ruins, you see no sign of the owlbear. There's no sign of the harpies, and Barrett leads you back down to the cobbled pathway and then off into a different direction, into the woods, which over time gets darker and darker, until you finally come to a very small camp with a couple of kind of wigwam-style pitch tents with a big bubbling cauldron in the middle over a fire pit. And there Barrett introduces you to the witch, known as Zula.
Zula, that was it. I did write that down.
Pardon our intrusion. We are looking for Zula. And he's sort of being really loud and doesn't know where she is.
This fairly young-looking woman comes out of one of the tents. She kind of pitches the cloth up, and she's holding a staff, and the staff looks like it's made of long bone, and at the top it has these kind of like goat horns. So goat horns that spiral down into one single bone, into this staff. She has various roped around her waist, various bird skulls. The rope and twine is going through the eye sockets. They're just hanging around her waist. Other than that, she looks like someone who lives in the woods. And she's like, well, okay, how can I help you?
Our friend here is in a very bad way.
I recognize you. It is Barrett, isn't it?
That's right. That's the Red Heart. You may have heard of. That's more commonly referred to as
that's
Red Heart.
Red. And yes, this was Dugan. Dugan, are you okay? And the two of them start to have a chat. And who's this other little one you have?
Oh, this is Iqban. I believe he hails from these parts. I'm not entirely sure. He was kind of incoherent where we were being held and tortured, so I'm not entirely sure.
He's tortured.
He knows where he is right now.
He has quite some severe wounds. You say tortured?
Yes, ma'am. We've been rode hard and put away wet. That's for sure.
We have rescued these people from the tower and the Scarlet Citadel, and it seems that an ogre and some other large foul beast of a man were torturing these people for days.
That is disturbing news. I have not heard of anything happening at the ruins for quite some time. Anyway, bring him in. Take him into the tent here. We'll see that he's unfortunately there's nothing we can do for his wounds, but we'll see if we can break this fever. So Barrett, you kind of carry Ichabod into the tent. So Barrett and Ichabod disappear for a while. You have the kind of camp to yourselves. Zula's busy kind of going in and out the tents, getting some fresh water, getting some food for everyone to eat, so you can sit around the fire. During this time, this will count as a long rest, so you're okay with that. What do you wish to do? Do you want to recap your moments? Do you want to? Are you going to go back? What do you wish to do?
How are the halflings looking at this point?
Well,
in terms of the halflings, Dugan has finally fallen asleep. Ichabod is still fighting a fever. Zula,
Our job is done here. That's what Theodore does.
Zula mentions that if we can't break this fever, we may have to. He may not make it through the night.
Zula, do you happen to have potions for sale, and possibly
Poisons?
poison?
For sale, are you? Who is the poison for?
This is for my friend Smigs here to
You
purchase
wish to
weapons.
kill your friend?
And you just see Smigs like, oh, he's got his daggers. I was just looking at each dagger.
No.
You wish to coat your daggers. Is that correct?
That's
Yes.
correct.
I see. Well, I have probably something a little bit more effective than just poison. I have a rather sticky substance which is also poisonous. You could probably use that. It would be easier.
Sticky poison. Well, let's see it.
And she during the course of the evening, as you're talking around a campfire, she pulls out a small jar, like a small honey jar, and it's filled with green slime. And she basically explains if you paste this onto your blades, you probably got enough to coat both your blades, and that's it. You'll get a couple of stabs out of it, but it will poison anyone you cut.
Now that sounds great.
And I'm gonna walk over. Can I just go ahead and walk over and dip the blades in?
Yeah, you just do that. Use it all up.
Okay, so I'll dip each blade in,
Yeah.
Well,
and then I'll kind of look at him, and it's like a big grin, right? Like you've never seen Smigs so happy, right?
Just,
Big grin.
Now you sure I can't take a little bit of that sticky and put it in a vial? Take it with me.
If you have any left, if you've saved it, yes, you of course you may. But just make sure you wash your hands before you eat.
All right, perfect.
Flicks them around, puts them away.
The slime
And so
just goes
I can
everywhere.
take some. So I can take some left.
Yep.
Okay, so you'll see him right on his leather armor. He's got a little glass vial. There's actually a spot for like a few of them, so he'll kind of pull one off and pop the cap and just carefully try to, like, I guess, goo this slime into this little vial, and then put on the cap.
Thank you much.
Zula, how long? We heard that you provide the town with some basils. How long have you been doing this endeavor? I guess.
I was born and raised in these woods. My mother before me showed me what to do and how to live off the land and be one and survive. There are many concoctions you can make with the herbs and plants and various weeds that grow.
If that's the case, what news have you heard of the Scarlet Citadel? And he goes and he before this he would explain just that him and his friends are adventurers. I mean, obviously they probably have said this all night, but that they're adventurers. He's just trying to gather some information.
Yeah, there are many rumors and things of what have happened over the years. It's all goes back to the Gerhardt family. There was elves at the beginning, dwarves in between. You've obviously heard of the owlbears, but it's Gert the Gruesome who is in charge now.
That is a name we haven't heard yet.
Gert, he as far as I'm aware, he's still active, and he lives below in the many levels of the Scarlet Citadel.
What do you know of Gert the Gruesome?
He mostly keeps to himself. He comes up top when he needs to. He visits Red Tower from time to time. He can buy supplies. He hires help. Mostly thugs. I don't tend to do much business with him. He's not my cup of tea.
And why is that?
I think because of the experiments that he does below. It is against nature.
If I may ask, what are the focus of your Bezos? And what do they do?
So if you're into my Bezos, I have based them on owlbears. But be warned.
I have a friend that is an owlbear.
Do you? There are many owlbears in these woods.
This one likes bacon.
I have not tried. I'm a vegetarian, but I have not tried that. I will have to give it a try the next time I see them. But if you're good around them, owlbears won't attack. If you don't disturb their home.
If one were to, say, have been resting in some ruins and a party of adventurers were to go through said ruins, what would be the best way to avoid them?
Well, I think your friend there, the dragon, he said bacon. So I would give that a try first.
Just every time bacon, got it.
Every time bacon. It's now a thing.
Pretty much bacon.
Yep.
It's acquired a taste for
Smells
bacon.
like bacon.
Yep. The coming back to your question about the Bezos, I don't think you're ready. They can transform you. They can make you stronger, more powerful. But there is a downside to that power.
We're just gonna be mysterious and not continue the rest of that.
I find that's the best way of how I sell my wares.
Well, we would. At least I would love to know what that downside is.
The
Do
downside
you have
is...
do you have a return policy on those if we don't like the sound effects?
No, Master Barrett, we do not. But if and she pulls out a kind of a long, skinny chest, and she flips it open, and inside are 5 small bottle vials, and each one is labelled. It's labelled on the felt of this kind of presentation box, and you see that, and each one is different colour. Some with the bubbles going up, some with the bubbles going down inside the liquids. So the first one is labelled as Bazor of the Bespeckled Owlbear. The second one is the Bazor of the Dire Owlbear. Third, the Great Horned owlbear. The fourth is the hoary owlbear. And the final one is the screech owlbear. Now a Bazor, let me try to explain. You see in each potion there is a stone, like a plum stone. And if anyone's a fan of The Princess Bride, it's that kind of thing where you got to put it in your mouth, wait for it to take effect, and it stays in you. And after a certain amount of time, you will regurgitate it back out. Okay, but while it's in you, you will be infused with a particular type of power. But to get it in hurts. And when it comes out, it hurts. So you have to think, is it worth the pain to get the power or not?
I see.
Well,
And what is the cost of these Bazors? And why do you say we're not ready?
I don't think you're ready. You have to be strong of mind and strong of body to handle these. If you feel you are ready, I will let you pick one. I assume you're going back down below?
Indeed. I don't know about you guys, but I feel like holding one for Oregon, since he is our martial character, that perhaps the horned owlbear. I imagine Oregon charging into combat, impaling his enemies.
that would be fun, Galen.
I'm not swallowing
No
nothing.
idea.
Yeah, I'm okay. Thank you.
I'm willing to give it a try.
Great.
Let us. What is the cost of these Bazors?
I will let you set a price. And if the price is too low, I will say no. But for I will let you have the sample. If you're going back, if you're going to be brave, then I will let you go back. You can return with one. You choose to use it or not.
I say we take the free one. We go back to town. We get some supplies because obviously we were ill-equipped the first time we went in. And then maybe, if the first time doesn't kill us, we'll be back. Sort of.
That sounds good.
Then let us proceed.
Do you have any equipment here that we could stock up on?
That's fair.
What are you asking for?
Any potions of healing, I guess, is the obvious. We encountered some large creatures that did a fair amount of damage. We don't have a dedicated healer in our party.
So you require potions of healing?
Yes, we do.
Well, I don't have many left. I've used up a lot of our supply. On your friends who you brought in.
Well, Conrad back in town.
I know Conrad.
He mentioned that he knew you. How about if we take the remainder of your potions off you, and you accompany these halflings back to town, and then we can get straight back to the dungeon. You can stock up in town from Conrad, until of course you acquire the correct supplies to remake your own potions.
It won't require. It won't take long for me to require more healing potions. The ingredients, mine are far more potent than the one the church provides. So I will give you one I have kept in reserve. This is a greater healing potion, but I only have the one. So I suggest you all use it wisely. I will take the halflings with me to town tomorrow for you.
Thank you.
Barrett, what do you wish to do? Are you coming to Red Tower, or are you...
I'll
taking your
leave that.
vendetta below?
I'm loath to leave Dugan until I know she is safe behind the town walls, but I feel indebted to these gentlemen here, and if they require my aid, I will, of course, go back with them and help them as I may. I am, of course, nearly naked, and if I had my druthers, I'd have a nice set of armor on, but again, the Red Heart will stand by your side.
I'm sure I have some various sets of leather armor
That would be mighty fine.
available for you. If you you go and kick yourself out with a mismatch, ill-fitting supply of leather armor, you've got that. I will do this for you, Barrett. We are only a few hours from dawn. I will stay in with your friends as long as I can. Come dawn, I will take them to Red Tower. It's not safe to travel at night anyway. So if you have finished your long rest and wish to return to the Citadel, you know that I will be leaving at dawn. You don't have long, so I suggest you hurry if you want to go with your new friends.
Appreciate that. Gentlemen, do you require my assistance further?
Yeah.
Then the Red Heart.
Turn it
By
down.
your knowledge.
Then the Red Heart will accompany you back into that hellish place.
Why do they call you the Red Heart?
I have a birthmark on my posterior in the shape of a... Well, it's best. We'll leave it for another time. I don't know you that well.
And just as he's changing into his leather armor, you see, like, oh wow, it's a big heart on his butt cheek.
That's hilarious. All right, I guess we rest and then we head
Yeah.
back.
Well, that took the whole thing, so you're ready to go. You've got a few hours before dawn. We have 20-ish minutes to go, so you can take Barrett and he can point you in the right direction, put you on the see what's there, and then he will say his farewells.
If he can walk us through what he knows of the area around the cells and the area around the torture room.
Yeah, I can try to draw them a crude map of what I remember. Like, it was dark as I was dragged from my cell to various torture rooms, but I'll try drawing them like a crude map showing like the cells and a hallway, and then like the hallway branches, and to one end I'll just kind of draw like there's a door with a question mark and another room with a pool in it, and then like further down one hallway there's like a man standing in a boat, like I drew a little stick figure of a guy standing in a boat, and then
I'm just thinking, I'm talking to Mark now. I'm just waiting for Mark to draw the map, and then we can put it on next episode. We'll put it on and say this is Barrett's map that he drew.
I want you to know that hearing Mark say I drew stick people made me feel like a normal person. I was like, even artists draw stick people, you know.
He's gonna draw Red Sonja and his Conan just that way on the map.
so this is a freebie. You're not commissioning me for a full-fledged map, so you get stick figures.
Fantastic. Okay, so all of you make your way back to the Citadel. Yep. So Barrett's drawn you a map. He's gonna just make sure you get in.
Oh, one thing
Yep.
that I'd like to have done is, while we were resting, is using my cartographer's tools to actually draw a detailed map of where we had actually visited.
Okay.
Like what we encountered in the actual ruin and the actual dungeon layout, so to speak.
That's fine. Yeah, so you can take your time to bring out your scrolls, your notebook, your spell book, and you just scribble in there in the back as detailed as you can the layout of the Citadel as you believe it to be. And then you look over and see Barrett just doing a better job because with his stickmen.
Wow. Okay.
So when we get back, do we want to head through the torture room, or go back to the cells and head down that corridor to the left that Smigs and myself guarded.
If we go down to the torture room,
chamber.
it should be
Yeah.
empty because I think what was down there torturing we took care of.
Yeah, that's where we should head first.
The torture chamber.
So good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
So you'll heading this way.
Ooh, that's a big map. I love it.
It is a huge. Like, I don't know if you can see that, but yeah, it's a huge map. There we go. So you are down here now, and we are gonna just reveal some of this. There we go. Dum, dum, dum. Like that. Okay. So you can see this is the torture room. So I will show that so the audience can see. Bum, 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 bum. There we go. Let's see who's changed seats now. Everyone's in the same seat.
Hey.
That's a fun.
Magic.
So you can see this new room. We have bits and pieces in there. There is still a kind of fire burning over there. You've got various paraphernalia. You've got a couple of barrels. Various chains and tables. And what appears to be a big statue of a frog here. There's various manacles all around the room, chains, and there appears to be a hole over here, a hole dug into the wall.
Is that a religious thing that I might be aware of? Me as a player doesn't know the Pantheon.
Yep.
But Oregon as a character may recognise it as a statue of a god or homage to a god or something.
Well, I will.
Would you like me to make a religion check?
You can do. It has a description for this room, so I'm just going to read that out for you. So you enter a large, well-equipped torture chamber straight out of a psychopath's nightmare. There are torture devices line the walls and benches. Some you recognise, while others must be the feverish creations of whoever or whatever uses this collection. And it does get used, as indicated by fresh blood spattered on the floor, hotly glowing braziers of flickering coals. As you can see, look, it's flickering coal.
It's beautiful.
How good is that?
Yeah. Well done.
And a terrifier. There's even a steel cage hanging from the ceiling. There is an immense statue of a gape-mouthed frog that looms over the room from a dais set against the south wall. So this is the south wall here.
Okay, so doing a history check with my archaeology background, can I perceive what this room was initially used for, not necessarily a torture chamber?
It's a weird mismatch. There is definitely some kind of, this is a like a reception room, if that helps at all.
Is there any markings or engravings on the frog?
If you're going to have a look at it, yeah, you're going to have to inspect it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
And in Oregon, you mentioned about like religious history.
Yeah, I rolled a 9.
oh, 17 plus 5, 22.
It's not. It's not a religious. It's not a religious type of statue.
Yeah.
Like good or evil that you're aware of, that you know of. And sorry, Galen, what was that roll?
22 total.
Okay. So as you're both looking at this statue, can you both make a wisdom check for me, please?
17.
Two
17s in a row.
A wisdom saving throw.
Yep, 2 17s in a row I've rolled.
Okay, well done. You passed. Oregon,
7.
you failed.
Uh-oh.
You turned into a frog. No.
Oh. I'm getting Hypno Frog now.
One. Just gonna roll a dice.
Oh, that doesn't sound good at all.
Yeah, if there's a table, it doesn't sound good at all, ever.
Do they appear to be like almost hypnotized as they're staring at this giant stone frog?
Nice,
Well,
nice
not
wording. Nice wording. And we've changed seats, but
Oh, you did nothing happened.
I did nothing,
It just
and
changed.
we've changed seats. We've changed somehow, so I'm not sure.
We're playing musical chairs.
Yeah.
Is what we're doing.
So you down there, yeah, you over there. There we go. So, yes, basically, Smigs, nice save. So you see those two looking at the frog statue. Galen's doing his thing. He's fine. He kind of, don't recognize it, walks away. But you notice that Oregon hasn't moved. He's kind of stuck, motionless. He's still breathing, but he's stuck, completely motionless. His eyes aren't moving. He's just staring at this frog statue.
Well, I'll kind of slowly walk over and, I'm kind of looking at Oregon. And...
Hey, buddy, what you doing? You looking at that frog? I know it. You think that frog's pretty?
So there's no...
I've seen like he's not moving or anything, right?
No, he doesn't reply. He's not moving.
So at that point, I wouldn't really know this, but I would turn and look at the frog.
Okay.
Oh.
What are you gonna specifically look at about the frog?
I would probably look at, is the frog's mouth open?
Yep.
Is its tongue sticking out?
Yeah, just a little bit of tongue.
A little bit of tongue?
A little bit of tongue.
Just the tip.
I'll look at the mouth. I'll look at the tongue.
Okay. Can you do a wisdom saving throw, please?
Oh, fuck. That's I rolled a 1. It's
Okay.
+2, so it's a 3 in total.
Okay. You are also just stuck staring at the frog.
All right.
So
So
I didn't notice anything, even though I had to make a saving throw and stuff.
You passed your saving throw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I didn't feel anything coming over me. I didn't feel any presence or anything at all. It's and there's no engravings or anything like this on the thing. Okay.
No.
So having seen Smigs sort of walk over there slowly and very dramatically and then start staring at this thing, he's gonna go, oh, statue staring time is done. And he's gonna walk over and try to turn his friend around. What happens when he does that?
Yeah, you can do that. You can kind of move them, but they're not moving themselves. If you want to put them in a weird pose, you can. But they're not. You can move them and you can turn them around.
Oh no.
They're breathing. They're okay, but they're not. They're kind of statue still.
A little drool coming out of my mouth.
Yeah.
That happens anyway. That's fine.
That didn't work. And he walks over to Galen and he's like, have you ever seen any magic or anything of this sort? They looked at the statue and
Not that
and
I'm
he
aware
does
of.
this to one of the Oregon.
So he's faced Smigs directly away from it, and he hasn't broken out of it.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, this is going to be gross. But one moment, Theodore. So what I do is I grab. So there's obviously like, you know, all around there's like maybe a bucket or something on the ground.
Yeah.
I grab that and
Yep.
I go back up into Gola's bedroom and pull a bucket of water.
The stank water.
Stank water. And throw it over Smigs.
Oh no.
It doesn't wake him up.
Oh.
Well, that's disappointing.
Just smells like shit.
It's rotten water, basically. That's all it is. It's rank water.
Oh my god.
I mean, that's better than what it could be. So you know.
So I like, I don't know. I go over to Oregon and I slap Oregon's face.
Okay.
Nothing happens.
Nothing happens. He does not wake up.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Can I look around the room and see if there's anything that would indicate like what's happening to them? Maybe, I don't know. Can I just look around the room? I guess.
Yeah, you can,
He has no
look around
idea
the
what
room.
he's looking for, though.
So there's basically all kinds of torture implements around in this room. The only other exit other than the stairs back up is this kind of hole in the wall at the top here. But yeah, you find nothing else in the room. You know, lots and lots of blood stains, lots of various hooks and chains and spiky things.
I want to
grab-
break the statue.
Yeah, I grab one of the. I said, Theodore, maybe if we break the statue, like smash its eyes. So
You mean you
I,
and me?
yes,
The not
you
strong
do
ones of the group.
Indeed, it's up to us.
Oh.
So let's. I pass him like, you know, a metal bar or metal, you know, pincers or whatever, and like I go on one side and like direct him to the other, and like I start smashing the eyes of the statue.
Yeah, I'm like trying to do the same thing but not look at it, so it's like not the most efficient way of trying to get it done.
Mm-hmm.
But
You can do it. You can do it. It's fine.
yeah, we're messing with the eyes.
Okay, so you start trying to chip away at the stone statue's eyes. That's fine. While you're doing this, you notice that Smigs comes back round. Now, Smigs, what you saw was what you believe to be the void. This was just a different plane of existence, a weird, vast expanse, and for you, it was just a split second.
Okay.
He
But
wakes up.
Oregon is still
And
there.
there is a smell.
And
Wet
you realize
and stanky.
you're covered in
Yeah.
wet.
Yeah, so I come back soaking wet.
Yeah.
What? Why am I all wet?
Oh.
You started perspiring very badly in front of this hot stove thingy.
What?
Save.
Yeah.
So what I experienced was like, what would it look like kind of like a black hole or something?
Yeah. You just saw whatever you perceived the void to be.
Okay.
This is a place where nothing exists. So yeah, like a black hole. And you're a tiny speck of life.
Okay.
Wait. I saw it. I saw the circle of life. It's what I saw. And I looked at the frog and I saw the circle of life. And how we all are part of it. And now I'm wet. I'm all wet and it stinks.
Yeah.
It's that stinky wet water. Who put it on me?
No, you were perspiring very profusely.
Very badly.
And he says it with the straightest face he can. I want to roll a deception check.
Go for it. Do it.
I'm just looking away because if I look, I'll start laughing.
Natural 20.
Oh!
Yep. Smigs, whatever he says, you believe.
I'm believing it. Okay.
Well, I guess it was very moving. So
And he's kind of smelling himself and like, just sort of just coming to the acceptance that this is just what he smells like.
Oh, poor Sphinx. All right. Well, our other friend here, Oregon, is probably seeing the same thing. So I guess back to the statue, and he starts poking it again. We're trying to break the eyes or whatever.
So you're trying to, once again, break in the ice because, well, it seemed to work last time. And a few more minutes pass, and then finally Oregon does seem to snap out of it, and he is back. Oregon, you also saw, for you it was a split second, and you also saw what you believe to be the void. But you're not wet.
yeah,
So,
where's Oregon not all wet?
well, obviously,
Perhaps-
dwarves perspire differently.
And perhaps it moved you in a way that it didn't move, Oregon.
That must be it. That must be it. My connection to the swarm as a Gorgori agent. That's what it is. That's what it is.
And now he's convinced completely.
What did you say? What did you say, Galen? What did you see to make Theodore?
I saw nothing, nor did Theodore. It was only you and Smigs that were
I did
entranced by
not
this
look at the
toad.
statue, and I saw people looking at the statue and getting stuck looking at the statue, so therefore I said, no, that is not what we do here. Fun fact, we should probably not look at any other statues that happen.
Oregon, it was great. I saw the whole void, the whole circle of life. Life, death, it all. We're all part of it. Is that what you see?
No. No,
No.
I saw the end.
The end.
Of everything. The end of time, the end of life, the end of light. It was a place that sucked all the light from everywhere, everything. It was the end of the journey. There was nothing beyond.
That sounds a lot less like the circle of life, Smix.
No. There's more, Oregon. Do not fear death.
It wasn't death. No, it wasn't death. It was beyond. It was the end of everything.
The end of the cycle.
I think perhaps you two need to not look at any more statues for the time being.
I agree.
At this point, is the statue like, I guess, deactivated, or just none of us are looking at
It's
it?
kind of been mutilated, yeah. They've been chipping out the eyeballs of this stone frog.
So I notice. I want to change the subject. not wanting to talk about the end of the universe for a moment longer. There appears to be a way out of this room, and it's probably prudent that we use it. Barrett,
Let's look.
was the place you spoke about with the boatman and the room beyond? You didn't go.
Where
in,
you were
was that
drowned?
through the hole?
Am I still with them, or did I say goodbye and head back to join?
No, you're
witch.
still here.
Okay. Yeah, I let them know through that crack. I believe there's a room and there's another statue with a boatman in it.
Anything we should know about the boatman? That's the place where they tried to drown you? Is that correct?
No, that's a different room entirely. This one just has a statue and idol in it, and as I'm dragged past, sometimes it looks like there's something smeared across the parts of the statue. But that's not the room. The room's further north. There's a room with a pool in it, and that's where they would drown us. Okay. I think there's perhaps a supply room. I didn't see much more.
let's proceed through the hole in the tunnel.
Yeah.
So,
And I've got my bullseye lantern and shining it towards the hole in the wall and move over towards that way.
Where's Smigs in this lineup? Because I'm on the opposite end of that.
So you're all going kind of
Yeah.
over here?
So
Yeah, I'd be trailing, and actually, I guess if we're exiting, like as we exit, I will, because Smigs was almost drawn to what he saw, aligned with it almost.
Mm-hmm.
So I would just kind of look over my shoulder, not try to like really gaze at it, but just kind of look over my shoulder a little bit one last time and look back at it.
At the frog. Do a wisdom saving throw, please.
oh no.
That is a 17.
That is a pass. Nothing happens, and you're like,
I would be in the front, away from Smigs, because Smigs smells bad. Not the safest place for me, but you know.
Barrett just tries to find like a torn cloth or something and puts it over the frog, and that take care of that. There's no more of that.
I guess, Barrett, it may be time for you to head back to Ikaban and Dugan. It must be near to dawn by now, and Zulu seems to be heading back to town.
I think you might be right. I'm sick with worry over what could be happening. This woods is still a dangerous place, and I'm sure Zula knows her way and knows what she's doing, but I would feel better if I accompanied Dugan back to Red Tower. And I wish you all the best, and I'm indebted to y'all. And if you ever come back to Red Tower, and I hope to see you again, then just call upon me, and I will lend you my aid if I'm able.
Thank you for your help.
go on.
Thank you for your help.
Yeah. And Barrett will turn and start making his way out.
Farewell, friend.
And with that, you are faced kind of like that wall in Tomb Raider. There's a crack through the solid wall, and you have to kind of side shimmy, go in there. Jessa just joined. Hi, Jessa. We're just about to finish. So you crawl through the hole in the wall, okay, and you step to the other side with everyone else kind of bringing up the rear. And we will find out what happens in next week's episode.
Oh man!
Thank you so much.
Had to look at that frog again.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll save that for next week. You could do that then. Thank you to everyone. Hope you enjoyed that one. That was an interesting one. We're finally... Yeah, I mean, last week we said we were finally into the dungeon because you had to go through the ruins. Now you're in the dungeon. And it's not quite the dungeon you might have been expecting. So that was kind of nice to reveal.
Yep.
Okay, so it's good as everyone enjoyed it.
It was a lot of fun. Thank you for
all right.
Thank you for having me. And letting me play.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Everyone's
Man.
quiet.
No,
Thanks
it
for
was
joining
super
us,
fun.
Mark.
And thanks for joining us. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
this was great. I had a blast.
Cheers, Mark.
And I liked also just learning about your art, and now I'm a
Me
super fan,
too.
so thanks.
Oh, thank you so much, guys. I
There you
appreciate
go.
it.
Various commissions incoming, hopefully. Steve, if you've got the space, if you could stick Mark's details into live chat so everyone can check out his fantastic artwork. He is taking character commissions. What's your next comic you're working on? Have you got one yet, or publisher?
No, not at the moment.
Okay.
I'm looking for my next gig.
Especially Marvel. If you're watching Marvel, sort him out. Let's get him hired. We need some Badger boosts.
X-Men. Yeah, I want to see your X-Men.
Yeah.
That would be great.
Absolutely.
Who would be in your lineup? Is it the original X-Men, or what would be if they say, right, Mark, you're gonna get to do your own X-Men title? What X-Men are gonna be in it?
I mean, my favorite of all time team was like the Claremont John Byrne team with
Nice.
Cyclops, Storm,
Yeah.
Colossus, Nightcrawler, and Wolverine.
Oh,
That
nice.
was like the team for me.
Very nice. Right, and on that note, we are going to all see you same time, same place next week. We will have a brand new special guest player with us. I'm not going to spoil it and tell you who it is. You have to wait and see. And then we'll find out what's I was going to say what's behind Steve's crack. But it's spent a lot of time with it's one of those episodes.
Spent a lot of time in the crack this episode.
He did spend a lot of time in the crack this episode. First the crack of the Gola, and then
straight to the behind of the ogre.
Yeah. Now, watch this. Here's our rip-off version of the Boba Fett credits. Until next time, we'll see you soon. Bye bye.
See ya.